Hello and welcome to the Friday Night Social here on Politics Social, and I'm joined by Mike Dix and Mikey Mad Jazz Famine. How's it going? I'm Graham Danger Hughes. Mike, you don't have a fancy middle name in inverted commas.
Suggestions in the comments, please.
A nickname that you've made up for yourself, because there's nothing
Can
sad
we make
about that.
Can we make it up?
No, Mikey, you're not allowed. You're not allowed in this contest. Sorry.
Fine.
If Elon Musk can
use
pretend
discrimination,
to be a video gamer who's really good when he's actually not, then we can make up our own nicknames.
Can I first say how pleased I am that the nerds are still the nerds, man. You can't cheat in video games, man. We do not tolerate cheaters among the ranks. How dare you pretend to be our deity? You are nothing but a false angel.
I can accept the racism, the waste of taxpayers' money. I can accept all of that.
The eternal war that we're about to go into. They're going to ban porn. But you know what really pissed him off? This motherfucker cheats.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
There was a fantastic article in the Guardian newspaper yesterday by one of the columnists called Rebecca Shaw. And the headline was, "I knew one day I'd have to watch powerful men burn the world down. I just didn't expect them to be such losers."
Not cool.
Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg's desperation to be cool as they suck up to Donald Trump is so cringe. It makes my skin crawl.
Yep.
Can't argue with that. Just a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Hello, everyone in the chat, and hello to all our new members who get nice, fancy, shiny star badges after their names. Big shout out to everyone. If you'd like to join them in the chat, all you need to do is hit that magic subscribe button at the bottom of the screen, under the video, whatever, and that'll bring you all the joys and riches in the world. No, it won't. It'll just allow you to join the chat. And if you want to join the channel, there's a join button down there as well. There's free gifts.
Hey, Wayne.
Yes. What?
Wayne's told me to shut up.
Wayne's here. Is he telling people to shut up already? He hasn't demonetized us yet, though, so we're doing well.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Or are you really 5'6"?
Big shout out to Sarah in the chat, and also Pete's Music and Dark 4x4, Shropshire Chris. Got One Angry Pagan in there. We've got someone called Wayne Maker, someone who makes Waynes. What? We've already got one. You don't need to make any more. And then we've got
maybe it's a film.
Maybe.
Can you imagine if they started cloning Wayne?
Yeah, that'd be great. Then you get
demonetized
twice as fast.
Yeah, that's how the Clone Wars actually started.
I have a question for me in the chat. Can I address it?
Yeah, cool.
One Angry Pagan says, "Did you see Elon started a row with Osmongold over this? He took his check mark away. The king of free speech took somebody's check away because they said, 'Hey, you're a cheater.' He said, 'I'm not a cheater. Take your check mark. No one will hear you.'"
Oh, I didn't realize he actually took someone's check mark away for pointing out that he was cheating. Do you want to tell the whole story here for the people on who are watching who aren't informed about Cheatergate?
So Path of Exiles is like this really, really complicated, stupid. That's not stupid. I can't yuck other people's yums. It's a game online that people like. You have to dedicate like your life to this game if you want to be good at it.
Which game was it? Was it Diablo 4?
Or a number of. No.
One at a time.
Oh, what game was it?
Paths of Exile. I think it's from
Diablo 4 for some reason.
Well, that and Quake 4, he said he was the best of, but it's like the DLC of that. So it's like its own separate thing, and it's super complicated. And I don't want to like cast aspersions here, but these are typically like the large fellows who perhaps live in a basement of maybe their parents, and they dedicate their lives to this. Like it is a time suck. There is no shortcut mode. There's no I can do this quicker this way. No, it's a grind. Like it is literally a grind.
Do you guys mind if I just carry on with my levels while we're?
Yeah.
I got mine. I got mine behind me. So, it's
got to beat Musk.
It's not a thing that he can just, it's not like a first person shooter like Call of Duty or Fortnite or something like that, where if you're like super talented, maybe you're just better than people and you don't have to play a lot. Like like me. That's why I play shooter games, because they require skill as opposed to tons of time. And he is busted because he decided to stream him playing it, and he didn't have the foggiest about how to actually play the game in a way that someone at his skill level should play the game, like manually putting things into his inventory, having a separate category of maps inside of his little toolkit there that said Elon's maps. Everybody names their thing my
In-
thing. Like, you
Was it
know,
in Chinese as well or something?
Mikey Famine's cheats. I mean, like that's what the folder would look like essentially. And he got busted. And then as soon as he got busted on it, he decided to shut up everybody for busting him. And this guy's not as great as you think he is. And da 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 da. And then he's like leaking DMs between Osmongold and Elon, where Osmongold literally said something to the effect of like, "Oh yeah, my YouTube channel, yeah, just let me know what you want to do because my editors take care of all that." And if anybody in the YouTube space knows, you do these super long streams, like that's what they do on Twitch. They'll stream for like 3, 4, 5 hours, and then it's their editor or producer's job to cut up those clips and make them into videos that are worth watching on YouTube. And then the YouTube producer
I need one of them.
Yeah, they're expensive. The guy gets a cut, right? Like for making the clip. So if the clip does well, the 10, 12-minute clip does well, then he does well. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Dumb shit Elon, decided that it was he decided that Osmongold was under the command of his producers because he doesn't understand what it means. So yeah, this guy just listens to his producers. His producers tell him what to say. It's like, tell me you don't know what it is without telling me you don't know what it is. Jesus. So he's stuck both feet in his mouth at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, he's just a twat. I've just got to interrupt. Sorry, Mike, and I'll bring you in. It's just there's been a super chat coming from Ivan. Thank you so much, Ivan, for the super chat. Can anyone help me become a member, please? All these people getting stars and I have nothing. The join button doesn't appear for Ivan. Ivan, I sent you a link earlier through WhatsApp. What happened when you pressed that link? Did it take you to a page that, what did it say? Did it say that it wasn't available in your area or something? Just let us know. Let us know. Ruth has just finished chatting with Max's chat over on Max's channel. So obviously, people have come over from Max's stream. Hello and welcome. And Vendetta is saying Monkey Island and Turrican too. And that's all you need to know. Sorry,
Monkey
Mike.
Island is a great game.
Yeah.
Monkey Island. And didn't he, in order to prove that he was a great player, go do a live Twitch stream?
That's when everybody saw it. They were like,
and again,
I don't know what you're fucking doing. Why are you manually?
So the man has more money than sense, and he's employing apparently Chinese people to play this game for him 24/7.
It's a team.
So why not?
It's a team of people. Like these people have like 23.5 hours per day.
But where is the logic when you want to prove that you're brilliant at this game to not get one of these people to play it while you voice over it? Like the tech, I could do that on OBS from my desk. Like, why can't this multi-billionaire think of this?
Because he's dumb.
Well, this is the guy who couldn't get. They've had radio phone-ins for over 100 years. The first radio phone-in was BBC London when it was still a private company back in 1922. That was the first phone-in they had on the radio. And he couldn't get his fucking phone-in to work on a platform he owned with the guy who would be president of the United States. Who is
remember when he first got to Twitter and he fired all those people and Dave Chappelle was like making those jokes when he brought him on stage, like, those must have been the 40,000 people you fired. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, it's almost like you fired everybody who knows how to run the site.
Yeah.
I have some experience of a software company being purchased, and what happened was this big corporate wanted to buy this little games company, and before they brought the company, all the good coders left anyway. They all got headhunted in the car park by EA and everybody else.
Correct.
So the corporate takes over this small games company, gets rid of half the rubbish stuff that remained, and was just left with the absolute dross who didn't know what they were doing.
Jesus. Yes. Sorry to just go back into the chat because Ivan's saying, Graham, we got as far as the verification stage and then it says click continue. I do that, but nothing happens. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Are you using... someone suggested that it could be because you're using an iPhone and like they don't want Apple taking money because they take a cut.
Welcome to Friday Night Social Technical Support.
Technical support. Friday Night Social.
Our supervisor Graham will be handling this call.
Should you require
the premium service for $5, you can speak to Mikey Famine.
We're gonna You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna escalate this ticket. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna escalate this ticket.
That's what I do. I ring up helplines and then I get them to talk technical to me. Well, they escalate my ticket.
That's great.
Ivan says I'm on iPhone. It might be iPhone. It might be iPhone. Make it if you can try doing it on a laptop or on a computer. Borrow someone else's. Just log into your YouTube account and see if you can do it through that, because that seems a bit mad. Eric says, doesn't everyone not have a peek at the chat then just like immediately? I can't believe some folk pondering. What?
Pondering liking the video. Why aren't they liking the video?
Yeah.
Like the video.
We've only got 6 likes. Like, come on, there's more than 6 people in the chat room.
Oh, mate, come on.
That's
get some more likes in there. Is it concerning that Musk is running the US military when he can't play video games? Says Sarah. Yeah. But then again, to be honest with you, Eisenhower couldn't play video games. And now they're called Monty.
That's not his goal with the U.S. government. His goal is to make sure that he can send his batteries back and forth to China without any delay or stoppage. Like, that is the point of all of this. He wants to be able to sell to everybody.
Okay.
Without paying the Trump
and also set fire to 100 million taxpayers' dollars in the air and claim it was a victory.
It blew up. One of his rockets blew up, didn't it? Over the hi, Darren. Just in case Darren thinks we haven't noticed.
Hi, Darren.
No, what is?
We're just talking about Elon Musk.
President Musk.
Leon Musk.
Yes.
Doesn't his
First Lady Musk?
Another one of his rockets blew up today.
Yeah, and that's 2 days after Bezos launched his first attempt at an orbital rocket and managed to get it into orbit. Musk still hasn't got one of those starships into orbit yet.
It's all falling down.
So how many is he blown up so far?
7. Well,
7.
5 are blown up.
Yeah.
7 arguably have all been failures, really, in one way or another.
What was the one that landed? It landed.
The one that was successful. Yeah, they caught the booster yesterday.
Button moon.
Yeah, they did catch that yesterday. That was okay. But again, they just fired it up 60 miles in the air and then caught it again. Basically, it's not rocket science.
It is rocket science. He promised that would happen though, like 6 years ago, didn't he? He's a bit behind schedule.
By now, we should be on Mars with 3 of those.
He doesn't know what year it is. He's high.
Yeah,
that's very true.
He's high on ketamine. He has no idea what year.
Tesla Roadster that he promised people, and he took loads of money off them, and he never delivered it.
He's got one.
What?
Well, it's in space now. It's orbiting the Earth now. His one.
He's got his own Roadster. They just haven't mass produced them because they're just as soon as they're done with the Hyperloop, and then as soon as they're done with the magic
hype of the Hyperloop.
Back in the day when I thought he was still potentially marginally cool, he did launch his own Roadster into space, and it's now orbiting the sun.
Which is swag.
Yeah,
that's swag. I can give him that.
Isn't that going to be a threat to space shipping though? Like that.
No. You plan on going to the sun, Graham?
Sorry,
you going in there? You going towards the sun? I'm not going in there.
No,
no.
And it's also it's a tiny thing.
I live down here. I live down here on Earth. I don't want a half-charred rocket fuel, very very hot car to re-emerge into the atmosphere and smash into me.
So let's start talking about orbits and orbital energy and how we can do Lorentz transfers and get things into lower orbits.
It's not something you need to worry about. That's
okay, cool.
Unless we slowed the planet down, it'll never hit us.
So we're saying, I hope Musk is the first person to go to Mars so we can leave him there. Yes, he'll be very much like David Bowie in the video for Black Star.
He goes to Mars to play video games to show off on everybody, and nobody watches his stream. It's got like 6 people in it,
and he's just a skeleton in a spacesuit.
He goes all the way to Mars to play fucking Diablo 5, and no one watches his stream.
There's also an 8-hour. Cool? There's an 8-hour delay, isn't there, as well? So we wouldn't even be watching it live.
Yeah,
I think Mars is only half an hour. Let me double check.
No, it's got to be more. It's more than that. Eh?
Light is very quick.
It is quite quick.
Yeah, but Mars is very far away.
Light delay to
Not as quick
Mars.
as right wingers are to apportion blame for any given tour.
It's 3 minutes.
To
3 minutes.
A light takes about 3 minutes to and then 2 minutes when we're 22 minutes when we're furthest apart, and 3 minutes when we're closest together.
Yes, that's right. Because that's the quiz question, isn't it? Which planet is closest to the Earth? And the answer's Mercury because it doesn't go so far away.
Yeah, the crazy elliptical orbit of Mars is what led to Mars is in retrograde, and that's where people get all crazy. It's because of the eccentricity of its orbit around the sun. It's not a perfect circle, people. Okay, we're not all perfect graphs out here. Some of us are a little oblong, and that's okay.
Yeah,
it's still part of our solar system.
Isn't Uranus
but not
upside
Pluto?
Down? What's the one that's upside down?
Sorry,
the wrong way.
It spins on its side. Yeah.
Oh, does it? What a mad bastard!
Sorry, I thought we were talking about my cancer again.
No, we hadn't mentioned that yet. But if you want to talk about it, how was this week, Mike? Are you
happy to talk about your anus, but not mine.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, are you all right? Are you all right?
I've had a great day today. I've been full of energy and not a lot of pain, but I had 4 really awful fucking days this week. So anybody that's going through similar treatment, I have an awful lot of empathy for you, and you're doing well.
There you go.
Yeah. Would you wish cancer on your worst enemies? Like,
no.
Like Musk and Murdoch.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I'd happily stick them through the machines I have to go through to microwave my anus, but I wouldn't wish them the cancer that has to get you there, basically.
Fair enough. Maybe we can tell them that they have cancer and they have to go through all these treatments that they don't actually have to go through.
Go and try the machine out. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I've got a long weekend of no treatment, so I don't get treatment at the weekend anyway. And then I'm not going in for treatment on Monday because they're upgrading the software to Windows 11.
Sorry, what? That's got to be a joke. What?
Nothing can go wrong there, can it?
Oh my god!
I have a quiz question for you.
Go.
At 70 miles per hour, which I think is 100 kph, how long would it take you to drive to Mars? And don't cheat.
70 miles an hour.
Or yeah.
When it's closest to us or when it's furthest apart from us?
Can we raise the question? Can we raise the question? Do we have to build a road in order to drive?
I'm going to say.
How do we simulate gravity in this process?
Bad at quizzes.
I'm going to say, just based on what you told me about the speed of light or whatever, I'm going to say 100,000 years. Is that right?
100,000 from Graham.
I would say, judging by the taxes that we have up in Bradford, 15 minutes.
15 minutes from Derek. Mike, your guess.
I'm going to go 34 years.
34 years. And the winner is Mike. 228 years at highway speed to get to Mars.
That's not that long.
Well, they're not saying the taxes we have up here.
Could do that.
And then you know they're going to have speed cameras the whole way.
little taxi drivers don't care.
Speed probes up there,
What about when it's the furthest away from us, Mikey?
Well, let's see how they worked out how they did their thing here.
It's not actually far off how long it takes you to drive from Woolwich to Kensington at rush hour.
What you could do is just drive out to where it orbits and just wait for it to come.
That's the problem. That far away part is where you're going, because you wouldn't just chase it down. You'd have to cut it off. Yeah. So you have to fly off at an angle so that you could cut it off.
This is why it's interesting whenever you see a movie where they have a time machine. It's also a time and space machine because it always moves them in space. Even ones where, like in Back to the Future, they appear in Hill Valley in the One Pine Mall. But actually, the Earth is millions of miles from where it was in 1955.
Plus it's rotating.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I have a question.
The solar system's rotating the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is rotating.
Yeah, and we're all rotating around we're all expanding.
I hate to do this to you, but you act like Doc Smith couldn't factor that in. Of course he did. Of course he did.
He had a fucking digital display, Mikey.
He didn't have a long enough cable to capture lightning. We can't expect him to have worked out all that.
Well,
of course he worked that out. Obviously, duh. You would have factored that in. Duh.
It was so brainy. He could predict when lightning were going to strike. It was that.
He's that good.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was speaking. Wayne is saying, so I get shit for calling people C units, and yet you mugs talk about radiating Musk's arsehole. Yes. Because one thing gets us demonetized and the other thing doesn't.
One is medical science, Wayne, and the other one is you just being very rude.
So
the distance between the Earth and the Moon is about 284,000 miles. How many planets would fit in that?
All of them.
What size planet, Mikey?
Our planets in our solar system.
I mean, because like one planet that's 285,000 kilometers.
Planets that we know of.
I reckon all 8 planets would fit between us and the Moon.
Graham says all 8. What say you, Darren?
To be fair,
Jupiter's quite big.
Jupiter. Because the reason why I missed the question in the first place, because I was just sat there thinking to myself, we're thinking about causing severe harm to Elon Musk's bottom, and you're basically coming out with questions about the Moon and Jupiter and stuff like that.
I think Mikey's on a different podcast tonight.
Yeah.
I think he's on the.
Yeah. I'm just dragging the mule up the muddy hill. Dumb bastard.
He really wants to be on with Bill Nye, the science guy.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, aka my real dad.
Yeah. Oh, Tim's turned up. Hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim.
Wild.
I'll agree with Tim with this question.
So go on.
He's far more intelligent.
Mike,
than me.
what was your estimation for how many planets you could fit between the Earth and the Moon?
Well, did we establish the size of the planets, Mikey? Because I think to be fair,
our planets. We're talking about Mars,
Earth.
Jupiter.
How many
Saturn.
Earth diameters between us and the Moon?
No. I'll say it again. The distance between us and the Moon is 284,000 miles. How many of our planets in our solar system could fit in that gap?
How many of the planets in our solar
Yes.
system?
Graham says all. Graham says
definitely all of them. Yeah.
Mike says all of them. Darren says
whatever Tim believes. He's far more intelligent than me. I'll just sneak over his shoulder and look at his homework.
Tim, answer the question. God damn it! How many planets will fit between us and the Moon? Tell me right now.
All of them.
Yay!
All right, you're all right. Yeah, they would all fit.
There you go.
It's
just amazing what you can fit into a tight space.
We have a really big moon.
Ooh, we got another super chat from Ivan. Thank you very much, Ivan. More technical. What's it called? Help desk stuff. So another £250 next week for my next appointment with my private consultant psychiatrist. This is the reality of mental health treatment as a patient because of the Tories. Yeah, Ivan, my heart goes out to you, man. It's so shit that the Tories have done this to people in this country when they could be looking after us and putting a 10% extra wealth tax on the very, very wealthy.
Let me stress, and in my life, I've been in a situation where I was diagnosed with cancer at the same time as a stepchild had a mental health problem that was life-threatening, anorexia. And I got instant treatment because it was cancer and I was old, and old people vote Tory and therefore cancer gets dealt with really quickly. And a young person who had their entire economic future ahead of them spent 2 years trying to get an appointment with a psychiatrist on the NHS.
Jesus.
And if you don't get an appointment with a psychiatrist, you get no treatment because you need to be under a consultant's arm. But with cancer, it's within 2-3 weeks, and it's Christ, I don't want them to stop treating me, basically, but I think we should bring everybody up to the same point that you get a consultant appointment quickly.
They do fuck all about dementia as well.
Yeah.
Because they know that maybe once you get dementia, you're more likely to vote Conservative.
Well, and sell your house as well. So keep the housing market.
Yeah. There you go.
They're just boarding themselves up in their houses at this point. They're bricking up the houses that they're not using right now, and then they're just going to make a sarcophagus out of the houses that they're in. There are none houses available in the States anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. Oh, Super Tansky's just turned up. Hello, Super. How you doing?
Wagwan, you right?
Yeah.
Wagwan.
Yeah. We were just talking about like how many planets you could fit between the Earth and the Sun for some reason. I don't know. We're going off on a bit of a random one.
Good timing, Tan. We were waiting for you to come and explain that one to us.
Come on.
And now our space consultant,
Super
Tansky.
I want to take the piss out of all the mad shit that's happened this week.
I can't Think about space, mate, because trust me, I once did that on mushrooms and it was a bad idea. Trust me. Don't do it.
But
Embrace the void.
Tan, can we? I don't know. This probably isn't like the most cheerful topic to start with, but can we just give David Lynch a bit of love because he passed away this week, and I was absolutely gutted. I was in the cinema when I found out because it was like, well, actually, no, I wasn't checking my phone. Catherine was checking her phone because the film was so shit, and I saw it over her shoulder on the BBC website saying that he had died, and it was a shit film that I was watching, and David Lynch died, and I'm never going to
Oh
forget
my
that film.
God, what a combination. Like watching a terrible film as you find that. I mean, in a way, it's kind of the kind of dark humor he'd probably appreciate.
Yeah.
But
it was fucking appalling.
I mean,
called Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman. I thought
I heard good things about that.
It's fucking awful. I mean, it's just a load of unlikable rich people being twats. It's like Bridget Jones's Diary all over again, only with some sex in it.
Well, that is the element of it that interested me.
You buried the lead there, Graham.
I've got to say that was the only bit that disappointed me about Bridget Jones.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I went for, but I mean, no, it just wasn't.
You're talking about don't diss Bridget Jones, man. The first, I love Bridget Jones.
Yeah, but there's no likable characters. It's just everyone's such a twat. Everyone's such a posh twat.
But Bridget Jones isn't actually a Tory. In the second one, she actually calls out the Tories.
She does, which is good, which is nice.
Because he is like wanting to send the kid to private school, isn't he? And she's like, no, like I'm not going to send my kid to a private school. And so that, but up until then, and plus it's also got like the kind of hottest era of Hugh Grant, basically. Yeah. He's Pete.
I have a question. Hugh Grant. I have a question. Vendetta is saying loved June, but Eraserhead and Twin Peaks was shit. Can we ban Vendetta from the channel? Would that be mean?
Execute Order 66.
Someone doesn't understand non-linear narratives.
Okay. So give me your top Lynch films and your worst Lynch films, because there must be some that you don't like that you thought, or do you think they're all good?
I think they all have their merits. I mean, you know what you're gonna get. If you want to have your mind twisted, then you watch a Lynch film. You don't watch it if you want to have a kind of neatly formulated beginning, end, a middle, and a moral and everything. You know what happens. That's not why you watch it. You watch it so you can kind of basically have a collective nightmare.
It is very much like that, yes.
It is, and I studied it.
Salad Fingers. Salad Fingers would not exist if it wasn't for David Lynch.
Exactly. I mean, I studied it a lot, as I said in the chat, like our chat. Like I studied it for my photography degree, for a lot of visual research for my projects. But also, he featured in my dissertation about kind of postmodernism and analog and such. And he is just, I don't know. I'm still gutted about it, to be honest with you. Like I know you expect he's going to probably go at some point. So he was in his late 70s, wasn't he? And he had emphysema, wasn't it? Like because he'd had a lung problem and stuff. Yeah. But it's just
he had a good life.
Yeah.
Is this a bad time to say who are you guys talking about? Because you kind of walked over that.
David Lynch, the film director who died yesterday at the age of
70. Okay, because you might have like mumbled it and then you guys just went off and I was like, who are they saying?
Video games, Mikey. You've got a video game.
You still got to say the name.
Well, maybe if you pay some attention, man. Oh, look, it's Wayne.
Wayne.
Hello, Wayne.
Wayne's World.
Oh,
Wayne's World.
Hello.
Apologies for my terrible internet.
Oh no, Wayne's turned up with his terrible internet. Anyway, we're talking about David Lynch. I think there's a lot of films of David Lynch that I like. I absolutely love Blue Velvet. It's just brilliant. It's really, really good. I love Twin Peaks.
Lost Highway.
Twin Peaks was such a formative experience as a kid. There was only me and one other lad in my class in school who watched Twin Peaks because it was a bit...
Eraserhead, though, was so fucking weird. That was my initial kind of like delve into it. And Mulholland Drive would always have that.
Monster baby. Mulholland Drive was great. I really enjoyed Mulholland Drive. I quite enjoyed Lost Highway. I didn't enjoy Inland Empire. I've got to say, I saw that in the pictures, and I went with my mate Matt, and we just came out going, "The fuck!" It wasn't like weird in a good way. It was just kind of weird in a, I don't know, just left me feeling. It didn't take me on an emotional journey. All this other stuff, no matter how weird it was, it took me on an emotional journey.
But I haven't heard of any of this.
June, the original June from 1984, I think that he did.
Oh,
No, I've not seen that.
It was a flawed movie.
Patrick Stewart in it.
He
Sorry?
did Dune?
Yeah.
He did the original
Yeah,
June.
Patrick Stewart.
With Patrick Stewart,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
The good one.
No, well, I mean, if you see some of the behind the scenes stuff, the stuff that he wanted to do but wasn't allowed to by the studio, it would have been brilliant and completely bonkers. But you know,
It was already pretty fucked up. I liked it.
Well, do you know he was the first person they called to direct a little movie called Return of the Jedi.
And
He was in,
Never heard of it.
He was in line to film. How mad would the fucking last Star Wars movie have been if it had been directed?
Oh my god, the Ewoks would have been bloodsuckers.
apparently
Leia runs off with Luke Skywalker.
all the Ewoks had fangs.
Is that why he opted to do Star Balls instead?
They also approached him to make the first series of Star Trek TNG.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
That would have been.
Ooh. Little edge on it.
Well, he could do normal stuff if he wanted to, because he did the Straight Story, didn't he? Which is about the guy on the lawnmower going across America.
Weird though.
Yeah, but I mean, it was kind of kooky weird. It was weird, like being John Malkovich's weird or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Malkovich. God, it's a fucking sausage fest in here, isn't it?
It is. All these men just turned up when you turned up, Tan. What can I say?
That's why Scott's turned up.
Yeah, that's definitely why Scott's turned up.
Tim's disappeared.
Symbiotic.
Is that you, Scott?
Symbiotic relationship.
But
Scott just wants to get him out for the lads. That's as usual, classic Scott.
Yeah.
Dick, lots of dick. Where?
Can we get back to the news? Can we get back to the news, please? We're talking about the news. So, has anyone got like a news?
Sorry, Graham. What? I'm sorry, Graham, but at what point were we talking about the news?
That's very true.
So far?
We were talking before you came on, Tan. We were talking about possibly giving Rupert Murdoch all of the treatment that Mike's had to go through for his cancer. Telling him he's got cancer when he hasn't actually got cancer. Just make him go through it. What do you reckon?
That's dark.
I did find out a fascinating medical nugget today that apparently where I'm being treated, and bear in mind I'm in this big machine with microwaves firing at my groin, and apparently my testicles.
Sounds like Saturday night.
My testicles will look 20 years younger at the end of this treatment.
Oh.
But here's the thing:
Botox for your bollocks.
Yeah, before I put this on my Bumble profile, I really want to know what the science is behind this. Like, who has photographs of their testicles from 20 years ago for comparison? Not you, Scott. Not you, Scott.
Mike, these guys are experts. They've been doing this job sometimes for 20 years.
But who did this research? Who did this research?
Mike, you know they've snapped a couple of photos of you. Just for the record. And, you know, they can compare that over time. This is guaranteed.
They can do what they like downstairs. They're sitting in a live stream.
Yeah, to be fair, they could be just fucking with you, and they might just be like thinking, "Well, this is so horrible. Might as well make his fault."
We've just burned these testicles. We might as well tell him that they look younger. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a horrible process, so let's just give him a bit of Botox.
Just cheer him up.
No, cheer him up a bit. Yeah.
Oh, they just get the plastic surgeon in.
It's just that's it, Tan. It's Botox. That's what they were fiddling about.
Botox is out already. That's not new.
Are you sure they're not going to give what they give, they take away, and you're going to lose like 2 inches off your knob?
Look, it's the ugliest part of the human male anatomy. It's just like a big sack of
Wayne, you speak for yourself, mate.
Oh, sorry. You're so glorious, are they, sir?
It's one of my most attractive features. You said.
Funny how when the lights come on,
I know. He denies it now, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I know.
When the bar lights come on, Wayne changes his tune.
Spandau Ballet.
I'm not beautiful anymore. Okay.
I can imagine now is like when you said the disco lights. I can just imagine Spandau Ballet's gold playing as they present your newborn framed picture.
That's what I'm hoping for. 2 weeks time.
Are
framed picture certificate.
Yeah, like Mikey was like, maybe they get the plastic surgeon. And it's like, mate, you don't do NHS, do you? Like, he'd be lucky if he's not on a trolley in a corridor. Like, this is Shit's bad, man. Shit's bad right now.
Yeah.
So, has anyone got any favourite stories from the week? Anything mad? I mean, did anyone see that picture of Liz Truss in America where she was she's dressed up like a complete wanker? I mean,
Come pick y'all stuff up off the ground over here.
No.
Sorry, mate, it's yours now. It's your problem.
Oh my God! You should not even talk about like you got something good going on over there right now. Okay, please. Liz Truss is probably the best thing America's got right now, considering
and she's
Trump
mental,
and all of that insanity that's due to happen at any given moment.
It's already happening, mate. God, America.
I can't wait to see
TikTok's been banned in America. It's going to be banned.
No, mental.
On Sunday. Which I
It'll be
think's
back
really
by
shit.
Monday. Back by Monday.
You reckon?
Yeah, Elon Musk will buy it.
Who do you think is going to bring it back?
Craig David.
Elon Musk will buy it, and he'll
How's
call
he
it.
going to buy it if it's not for sale? Like, I don't think the owners have gone to Elon Musk will buy it.
No, the point of the law as it stands at the moment is that unless it's purchased by an American company, it has to be shut down. So
Zuckerberg.
So this is why
hands on it.
Zuckerberg, Bezos, and Musk are all turning up at the White House on Monday, aren't they? So
It's the platform wars.
So the law states that actually it's just that TikTok, the app, isn't going to be updated after Sunday night. It's not. The company has to decide whether or not they're actually going to shut down service in America.
The company is going to shut it down just to make a point. I think, Tim. I think that's the plan. They're going to shut it.
Yeah, but can't isn't this what they did in Brazil, where they banned? I can't remember what one they banned.
Twitter.
They banned Twitter, but anyone with a VPN can just bypass it anyway.
Not on an app, I don't think.
On an app, I don't think.
But Mikey, have you seen these? And Tim, have you seen these? That TikTok are encouraging people to sign up for an app called Redbook,
or Lemonade,
which is a Chinese government app run by the same people.
It is hysterical. I went on it today, right? And the first video was how to speak Chinese.
Yeah.
This is Americans trolling their own government. They're saying, you don't want to use TikTok, that's fine. We're going to go to this red note over here, which couldn't be more Chinese if it tried.
Basically like a communist app.
Graham, I told
named...
you they wouldn't comply. I told you they would not comply.
True. But it's named after... It's named after Chairman Mao's little red book. That's the point of it. He couldn't be more communist.
No.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's the way a lot of Americans make money. I mean, they're going to wipe billions of earnings.
Small businesses,
off.
There's 7 million users going to be affected.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
And also, I mean,
it genuinely makes you wonder how people will survive for more than a few days without TikTok influencers.
I guess they'll have to go to Facebook, huh? I guess they'll have to go to X, huh?
Is there a movie?
X, the everything app.
Go to those places anyway.
Is there a movie where literally all electronic stuff shuts down, like all the internet and all? No one's got electronic.
Yeah, Escape from LA.
No, like a recent movie.
There was
I started writing a story years ago called Pulse. It was about an electromagnetic charge from the sun,
Revolution,
wiping out everything mechanical
I remember that show.
Electronic on Earth, and like
the first season of the show was crazy.
That was a good fucking show.
Episode of Black
that was
Mirror.
a good premise. It was a good premise.
What was it called?
Good fuck.
There was an American show called Revolution. It only had 2 seasons, but it was like a
dude. They were getting too close to the truth. They had to shut it down. I heard bluster on the internet that their story was too close to what would actually happen if the people had to rise up when the government came showing. My god!
And that
show got so good.
Was all communication fucked? Was all like the internet fucked? Was all no cars would run?
All electricity,
nothing,
even batteries.
They were even down to like flintlock pistols and shit. Like,
okay, and how does that happen in the TV show?
It's a big spoiler.
Well, it's an old show. So what happened was
the show called?
It was basically a worldwide EMP.
Okay, but that I'm going to have it just coming from the sun one day. Fuck it.
No, someone like created a device that could do it, and they did it, and everyone thought that like it was just some sort of like nuclear attack or whatever, but it was like a worldwide EMP.
Right.
That's not what happened. It was nanobots.
No,
I wasn't trying to give away the whole thing, Mikey.
It was kumquats. Kumquat May.
Kumquats.
Oh,
Yeah,
kumquats. Someone created a nanobot that absorbs electricity, and then it accidentally spread over the whole world.
But how did they get the kumquats in there?
Oh,
Very carefully.
It's got the guy from
So
Breaking
carefully.
Bad in it.
With a left gloved hand.
This reminds me. I was walking into the town the other day, and I saw a woman on a park bench eating two
Kumquats?
two chicken and mushroom pot noodles. And I thought to myself,
What?
if you didn't, so sitting on a park bench eating two chicken and mushroom pot
How did you
noodles.
manage to heat them up?
Well, this is the thing. I thought to myself, if you didn't know how to use a kettle, you'd be knackered.
Hey, well, if you think that's bad, once when I was walking through Braintree, I saw an old woman just walk up to one of the bins, pull down her pants, and just shit in it. Full like shitting in the bin, like legs.
Oh,
legs
that wasn't an old woman. That was Wayne.
Dressed as an old woman, trying to find some pot noodles.
He's grown a lot since those days, and he's changed race. So, well done.
How much do you two get paid by the Essex Tourist Board to promote the county?
I mean, everyone, it's so funny because, like, I bet you guys are like, oh,
book my flight.
People, it's so proper, mate. You've not been to Essex, like, it's so bad. It's like like full on. I mean, she was so little, like her legs were dangling over. It was just like one of those bins that are kind of
she scaled the can just to shit in it.
Was she sitting there flapping her legs backwards and forwards?
Arse fully in, like skirt and pants round her ankles, and was just looking at people as if like, what?
Tan, the problem here, this is why you're not a massive TikTok influencer. You forgot to film this.
This was like well, it was definitely TikTok. This was like 2007. My phone camera, it'd have been like filming on a potato.
It was a golden age. It was a golden age.
The golden age.
We thought it would last 1,000 years.
Where people could shit in the street with impunity.
Well, Mike, I'm not doing that bad on TikTok. I've got 258,000.
I'm sorry. I mean, I was just trying to frame the joke.
And then you posted,
mate, you bastard! You've ruined everything.
Posting about my TikTok.
I've just got to interrupt because Andy Thompson dropped a super chat in £2. Thank you so much, sir. Graham, it was the world's end. Simon Pegg. I guess all electricity goes out on that. Also, the day the earth stood still from Janeway. And we've also got Clactu, Baru, Nectu. And what else have we got? We got The Simpsons was an episode of it.
Years and years.
Simpsons did everything. Years and years. Did they pull the electricity? Does the internet go off?
Yeah, at one point they do. Yeah, I mean, and then the last episode is what happens again when people rise up and overcome. But it's Years and Years is a brilliant. What's his name? Russell T Davis.
Yeah.
National.
I wish Years and Years would pull their music from the balloon chart. Absolutely terrible band.
It's terrible. I mean, I can't stand that.
Wayne's dissing bands now.
Are we talking about the Muse?
No, we're not talking about the Muse. You know, someone in the chat earlier was just saying about Muse that they sound like all the Radiohead songs from the mid-90s that weren't good enough to be B-sides.
I mean, yeah, and then someone else said that they made their entire band out of the final part of exit music for a film by Radiohead.
Yeah, it wasn't very nice, was it? They weren't very nice.
Muse.
They were very nice about Muse.
And that was in Ollie's chat, wasn't it?
And then,
Muse.
Wayne, did you find that amusing?
You find it amusing?
Did you?
Oh God!
Wayne,
seriously, it's like being in the '70s variety show. This.
Hey.
A cuddly toy.
It is classic British comedy.
It is a bit like Blankety Blank.
Tim, my favorite part is I got everyone to attack Wayne with like one sentence, and they all turned on him.
It was so skillful.
Like, can I sort of drag us back, kicking and screaming?
Oh, dug a dagger.
Has anyone got like a news story that they want to talk about?
Well, you just reminded me of when you were talking about was it World End where they're losing electricity and all that. Well, I was sort of like seeing a couple of headlines, news on. I think probably could have been from the Telegraph, Daily Fail, or GB Biz, where according, because of GB Energy and what Labour are going to do, we're going to have blackouts, mass hysteria, cats chasing dogs, raining frogs, mass hysteria.
Yeah, well, that was on Question Time, wasn't it? I saw a clip of Question. I don't think it was this week, but they had the guy from Octopus Energy on, and basically there was a guy there, an old Tory git going, well, you know, if we have all renewables, there'll be a day when there's no sun and there's no wind and then no one will have any electricity. And he pointed out that car batteries can run entire houses for a day and a half. So it's like there's enough cars out there that we can just store all the energy in the cars if everyone has an electric car. And it was brilliant. And the guy was like, oh, but it's burn oil, kill those baby seals. Yeah. Mikey,
Wow.
what's been happening? Oh, sorry, Tan.
No, I was just saying, wow, at the seals. Like, I wasn't trying to get.
That's what Tories do. They just go around clubbing. When a Tory says, do you want to come out clubbing, they mean baby seals.
They mean seal clubbing, or they mean an under-16s disco because they're a bunch of nonces. But
they
now
are noncy bastards.
We should go to Mike because, or Tim, because you poor fuckers. Good luck.
Yeah, Mikey, what's been going down in the States? Is everyone just assuming brace position?
I just want to say, if we go down, you're going down with us.
I would
not. No, we're not. No, we're not drowning, man. You're not dragging us down into under the sea with you.
I mean, we're the world's largest economy. If we go down, that's it, guys.
We'll just all learn to speak Chinese. We'll be quite happy.
There you go. That's
we'll
the
just have to make our own ideas ourselves.
Yeah, we'll just.
You guys are gonna have a reverse Hong Kong situation going on.
Yeah. We're just gonna have to
And we'll send the king over there. We'll have a ceremony. It'll be fun. We'll
it'll
just
be
become
fine.
China.
Chaz is coming up.
Northern China.
And he's gonna run you.
Okay, so if America goes, right, imagine like America is just vaporized tomorrow by Trump. What do we lose? What has America got that we can't? Because like we're not going to lose. I'm going to make a list of things we won't lose. We won't lose toasters because they don't have toasters.
Can we just start?
We won't lose fortnights.
350 million human beings. We lose 350 humans.
Yeah, but I'm talking about important thing. Kinder eggs, Kinder Surprise eggs, the ones with the toys inside the egg. We won't lose them. We won't lose tea. We won't lose kebabs. They don't know what kebabs are. They call them kebabs. I mean,
I'll tell him in a second, Tim. I'll tell him in a second.
We won't lose haggis.
I've got it right here. I mean, you can keep haggis.
Yeah, we won't lose it. Okay, so I'm trying to make a list of things.
Won't we lose Yorkshire puddings?
Yorkshire puddings. Also, the H in herbs.
Yeah, the H. We'll keep the H in herbs. Okay.
And the S at the tail of the mash.
Yeah.
Maths. Shut up.
We get to keep Mexican food, Indian food, Italian food, Chinese food, Thai food. I mean, pretty much all the good food.
I don't know where you're actually going to get the food for all that food.
Oh, yeah, okay. Why? Why is that? Because we need corn in it. Does everything need corn in it?
We are the world's the top 5 producers of corn, soybeans, animals.
Go back to Ukraine.
Do you know what? Tim, oils. I know I can live without corn.
It's going to be irradiated soon,
if I ever check my shit, it's got corn in it.
Wheat,
rice. I don't even digest it, mate.
No corn in Yorkshire puddings.
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoy not having any fuel.
And there's no
we don't want it, Tim. We don't want your fuel because it's just destroying the planet. Let's just
imagine a world where we're not forced to have an economy based on oil.
America makes a lot of shit about like importing oil or whatever, but we are the world's largest exporter of oil.
Can I tell him, Tim?
What?
It's going to be crypto, isn't it? We're going to lose crypto, Mikey. That's what's going to happen.
What are we going to lose?
Hey guys, you just realized you lost an ally. He's crazy. It's fucking King Joffrey. None of you are safe. You think he won't change his mind and do something crazy? This is literally DEFCON 5, guys. And you're like, that's going to be real hard for you. No, motherfucker. The monster is out of the lab. I repeat, the monster is out of the lab.
He loves the royal family. He's not going to blow us up.
Someone tweets about this.
Said he loves the royal family.
If only there was some kind of literary, a film about the monster becoming like getting loose and sort of killing its own creators. If only there was some kind of analogy we could draw.
Yeah,
but the doctors, Mikey, look,
we're the Frankenstein.
77.7 million Americans voted to destroy America. So are you saying 77.7 million wrong?
That's only a third of us.
Yeah, it's still it's a bit Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that isn't it? They're your B arc.
If it helps, I saw it coming. Like, I never once thought that Kamala was going to do it. Like, loads of people were kind of turning at the last minute. I think it got to about 3 a.m. our end, and I was about to go to bed, and I was like, "Nah, we're fucked. There's no chance. There's no chance."
Graham and I did the most depressing live
broadcast. I'm just so grateful to Mike, because at one point he just went, "Let's fucking sack this shit off," and I was like, "Thank you, Mike." And I said bye, because I was fully intending to keep going till it was actually announced, but
no, you'd have ended up.
It was too grim. It was too grim. I'll tell you what's not grim though. Puninator, you are awesome. Thank you very much. £5 super chat. Thoughts on Truss being in America because she's being made Trump's chancellor with a mini budget ready to go? Not America.
You joke, but it could happen. I mean, she's just
what's a chancellor?
A chancellor's like
it's
the economy, the guy that advises or the woman that advises the economy.
So the person is in charge of the
public purse strings.
The money man.
They're almost as powerful as the First Lord of the Treasury.
Vintage port for anyone who cares. It's from
I was wondering if you were like drinking from like a tiny little like show glass.
I am.
No, Graham's just a giant in real life.
It looks normal size, but then I put it to my mouth and it goes.
Graham, wind your pinky out.
Yeah, where's your pinky?
Pinky out.
What have you got, Tan?
On the go.
You got what on the go?
French 75
cocktail from 1975.
Nice. So it is lemon.
Yeah.
Lemon juice.
Yeah.
Gin.
Yeah.
Sugar syrup and champagne.
Oh wow, that's pretty fancy. What are you celebrating, Tan? Are you celebrating Trump becoming president?
I'm celebrating the fact that I very rarely drink, but when I do, I make a banging cocktail. So
that's a good reason to celebrate.
Not doing dry January because I don't like. I very, very, very rarely drink. Only if I kind of go out or normally. But I thought, sod it. The world's ending.
Yeah. No. America's ending. America is not the world. Listen, we won't lose toasters, fortnights, Boxing Days, Kinder Surprise, tea, kebabs, haggis, the Haitian herbs. I can't read that one. Mexican, Indian, Italian, Chinese, Thai, blue cheese.
Aluminium.
Aluminium, spelled correctly.
Oh,
aluminum.
Yes. Yeah, it's called aluminum.
Aluminum.
Let's say we're 2 years into this whole Trump experiment, right?
Evangelical.
What makes you think Elon, after he gets sick of us, isn't going to take over your shit? Because
he's
can just make
he's
trying to. He can just. That's what I'm saying. So once America's, hold on now. So once America's done, what do you think he's just gonna like hang out over here and get bored? No, he's gonna go over there because it's fun, and you guys already speak English, and you guys are pretty racist too. So you'll fall for the same shit that everybody else does.
The one thing that I think is very different between our country and America in this situation is that when a foreigner starts saying anything about our country, we all unite. We all genuinely turn around and go, just fuck off.
All our football scarf come off. We're all there.
We're supporting England at that point.
Say that.
I want to just answer something real quick, guys. Tim, you asked what a chancellor was.
Yes.
American equivalent of a chancellor is your head of treasury.
Oh, so
master of coin.
Treasury, the point.
The treasurer.
You say shit like that. You say master of coin. He doesn't understand that. He doesn't speak Middle English.
Alex, well done for being a member for 18 months, mate. Cheers.
We don't have a hand of the king over here.
The master of coin.
The dandy of money.
Hold out the purse string.
He comes out with a little quill and he's got one of those.
Yeah, he's got a little parchment.
The mistress of the silk purse.
He's writing key graphs of accounts.
It is worth pointing out that all of these characters end up in the Privy Council, Tim.
Yeah.
And the Privy Council are the close advisors to the monarch.
Yeah.
And the Privy is the name for the toilet.
Who's hand of the king? Who's hand of the king?
Yeah, and the Privy is exactly what you think
bullshit.
it is.
The Privy is another word for a lady's tuppence.
Yes.
I've got a question.
No, it's not. A privy is a toilet.
Privy's a toilet.
Okay, Wayne's got a question, and then we go to a super chat. Wayne, shoot.
Don't let Wayne ask a question.
Who's got the weirdest hands? Our king or Trump?
Our king, like definitely.
Sausage fingers or baby hands.
We win.
Sausage fingers or baby hands.
He's got Deadpool hands.
If it comes down to thumb wars, I think we win.
It's like, it is Deadpool when he's recovering with a little baby leg.
Yeah.
He's shirt cocking it.
The little shrimpy ones.
Well, we all know what Camilla saw in him. Anyway, John C., thank you very much for the £10 super chat. We will be much closer to losing our NHS to US private health. Our health data is already for sale. I have no faith in Westminster fighting our corner. I do, actually. I have a little bit of faith that they will fight our corner a little.
You ain't gonna be able to fight that. You ain't gonna be able to fight hundreds of millions of dollars of lies online.
Mikey, I've got a plan though. As you were talking, right? I thought, hang on, because you mentioned the fact that Elon might want to come here because we speak English. So all we need to do to stop him is all start speaking German
or Chinese or Mandarin.
Or
you know,
Welsh.
Chinese, even better. Yeah.
Well, learn it on Red Note.
The
first video I saw. Watch my latest TikTok, 10. Watch my latest TikTok.
We start speaking.
You learn how to say okay, yes, and no.
Oliver's saying a Kazi is a toilet as well. It is, and also a commode. And I was at about 10 years ago, I was at the Sheffield Film Festival, and I went into the pub toilet, and Mark Commode was in the toilet.
Mark Commode and his massive hands. I mean, he's a contender on the hand front.
Yeah, Mark Commode was in the commode. I said, "Oh, Mark Commode," and then I went for a piss. Anyway, he's probably never going to talk to me again.
No, but I don't want this to feel like a kind of like an attack, because I feel for you guys, man. And I know you're absolutely right. I mean, Musk has got he's already interfering in the politics of Norway, Germany. And what he's doing is tapping into the far right factions in all those countries, rile them up. Yeah, absolutely. But proportionally, it feels loud and it feels big, especially on things like Twitter, because it's now just basically Truth Social. But it feels bigger than it is. Recent polling has shown that most of the country fucking hates him. And also Reform have won like 7 out of like hundreds of by-election seats in Britain. So it feels bigger than it is. But mind you, the millions of votes generated, the point that you were making about the lies and the millions being put into like the bot farms, that is a huge problem. And that was happening. The interference was happening on like Facebook in the run up to the general election here. And I think that's a big part of how Reform got so many votes. And when you look at polling, so yeah, he's definitely, and there's definitely that far right international network between Musk and the Tate wankers and like
Robinsons
and Robinson and Trump and then like him like Farage
and then in Farage because the thing is he's gonna get rich off of us, dude. Like he's gonna literally loot the shit out of this place. He's probably gonna double it. He's probably gonna double his wealth in probably the next 5 years off of us. Right, like it's gonna get bad. Like I'm not this like actively predicting like this is gonna get bad because he's
not if someone murders him.
Well, good luck getting to him. That's why. Why do you think he's got his kid? Why do you think he's got his kid draped over the top of his head every time?
That doesn't matter. It's collateral damage. Literally. I don't want to murder him.
But he does have a lot of security as well. So
I get told off for saying C words.
I know, I was thinking the same thing, but Scott's not feeling so well today, so we're going to let him off.
Graham, the way you get him is through, by linking him up to Matthew Perry's ketamine dealer. That's how you get him.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Well, a cross between that dealer and whoever supplies that Russian sushi with the poison you meant.
I find it really depressing.
You guys are thinking small. He owns one of all of those.
Reform MPs from Essex. How bad is that?
What's that?
3 of the 5 Reform MPs are Essex-based.
Are you surprised by that? Essex a shithole full of dickheads?
Essex is the most racist county in the whole of England,
company excluded, obviously.
It's the
best. The reason Essex exists is because all the East Enders left the East End because brown people moved into it. Why do you think that? Where do you think they all went? They went to Essex.
Right, and you're wrong there, because obviously, I live
I am not wrong.
No, you kind of are. Because,
I'm literally not wrong.
No,
Slightly wrong.
Like we've
literally not.
Literally aspects of history, but going back to like Saxon times, etc. London's not always been massive. I mean, I live in the oldest recorded town in Britain, and we've actually got a castle here. and everything. And yeah, like nowadays, yes, definitely. But
Well, I live in the place of birth of punk rock.
I mean, yeah, well, I live in the birthplace of rave. Like
I live in the birthplace of Depeche Mode.
I live in the birthplace of
Don't say it.
the Zootons.
Oh, fuck
I live in the birthplace of constitutions. Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
That's got you far.
Yeah.
Well,
The thing that's being trampled on right now, completely.
It's like my castle.
I don't mean America. I mean the state of Connecticut had the first constitution.
Jim,
Yeah.
this is where you fucked up. You wrote it down. We've got an unwritten one. We could just make it up as we go.
We should have a written.
I know, and you often do.
Hang on, but America makes it up as they go along as well.
So true.
They
It's
just
so true.
they just interpret it.
It's in the
differently.
Constitution. Really? When?
They
When did that
interpret
happen?
it.
According to this scroll written by the fluffer of the Privy Council, we have a. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, I'm embarrassed.
Coin.
Yeah.
Got his parchments.
He'd knock off Star Wars outfits blowing trumpets.
1066 next to the Magna Carta.
The Magna Carta. My town, well, my village that I grew up in West Liverpool. That's in the Doomsday Book. That's how old it is.
Hey, the whole of England's in the Doomsday Book.
Can you hear me, America? Can you hear me?
I mean, we're all fucked. I mean, I agree. Like, we're all in it together. This is why us lot were also depressed after we saw Trump won again. Not only because it's mental.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be half as bad. Like the TikTok thing, Trump wants to like not have TikTok go away. Like he wants to keep TikTok, and the Supreme Court said no. Like he doesn't have unlimited power to do whatever he wants. He just can commit whatever crimes he wants. But
Trump pulls a face turn and deports Elon Musk because of his H1.
Elon Musk isn't good. He's not going to last that long.
No, he's not.
No, I agree with
Elon
Tim
Musk
on
is
this.
a fucking ride along. He's going to be kicked out within the first 6 months.
All the others were all the others in the last term, where there's the Steve Bannons and all these people that were all Trump's best fucking friend. Trump he doesn't have best friends. Narcissists don't have best friends. So eventually he will feel that person is taking too much clout from him, and he will cut them out.
I mean, like Dominic Cummings Johnson.
A little bit like that. But you notice every single person that he worked with in the last administration that he was in, they all hate him.
Yeah,
they all hate him.
And 42 of his senior cabinet appointments will all come out saying they hate him.
Here's a quick example. So we all know that Trump is appointing a Fox News host as our Secretary of Defense.
Quality bloke.
Right.
Yeah, could possibly go wrong.
Mikey and I were talking about it.
Go wrong with that.
Mikey and I were talking about during the confirmation hearing. Trump's last term, he had 7 secretaries of defense. That's how quickly he burns through people.
Yeah.
Is that
it's because he always asks them, can you go out and shoot all the protesters? And they say no.
He says, and then they go, okay, well, you're fired.
Right.
The walking advert for Brill Cream.
He also had 5 attorneys general. Like he had 4 chiefs of staff. He can't keep people on the books.
It's true.
But I do want to say, I think Musk is the spearhead of the Peter Thiel, and now Bezos and Zuckerman are all in the same camp. I think that oligarchy is a really interesting thing for us to look at.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, you essentially, I think Trump is looking at the model of Russia and saying, okay, it's time we created an oligarchy. We make all the social media heads the leaders of their own fiefdoms of different areas of the states, basically, and it's inevitably going to happen. Bernie Sanders has been warning about this since the 1980s. Well, that America is heading towards an oligarchy.
Yeah,
did you see that report that came out this week though about apparently millennials like my lot and Gen Zs a lot of them would be happy to have sort of like a
they don't know any better.
Wayne, you're not a millennial, you're a Gen Xer.
I'm a millennial, mate. 1981, OG millennial, right here, sunshine.
They'd be happy to have a what, Wayne?
They'd be happy to have like a dictator,
an autocracy. Yeah,
I don't want.
Because they've not been educated.
I don't want that.
No, they haven't. A lot of them haven't been educated in it. I think the people they asked weren't smart enough to know what that is.
This is why I'm afraid to ever face a jury, because people are fucking idiotic.
Yeah,
like, I have no faith in my fellow person because they vote Tory and Reform. You know, like there's no people. Just honestly, a huge amount of people like absolutely lack, you know, a lot of intelligence.
Common sense.
I disagree. I don't think they're necessarily stupid or lack common sense or even lack emotional intelligence. I think they're just fucking lazy. They cannot be bothered thinking for themselves. And so they get Elon Musk, they get Rupert Murdoch, they get some knobhead on Gammon Box News to do their thinking for them. Because they read a news report and they just haven't got the energy or the whatever to make their own mind up about what this means. So they turn to the right-wing media, and the right-wing media just jump in there and say, this is how to interpret this information. Sorry, Wayne.
And how many times you've been sat in a pub and you can overhear a conversation and you know they're all going, oh, yeah. And you know they're talking absolute codshit. They're just regurgitating.
This is why I don't go into pubs anymore.
I'm just and I'm sitting there.
I don't go into any pub.
And like my mates would be like, Wayne, don't. I'm like,
go to a pub last Saturday, Graham.
My barber today was telling me that the reason the wildfires got out of hand was there's a lesbian in charge of the fire service.
Fucking this is the thing. And there was also someone on the radio last night talking about bloody Pakistani grooming gangs when they make up 2% of offenders. And grooming gangs themselves make up like a really tiny percentage of abuses.
Of the sex offenders.
And it's not just laziness, Graham. I actually saw a study the other day. I can't remember because I've got dyscalculia off the top of my head, the figure, but it's an extortionate amount of people lack the ability to self-reflect. Like a huge percentage of people, I think it was something like 60% or more of people lack the ability for basic self-reflection, which means there's an absolute lack of self-awareness, which means that they're not even able to consider their own mistakes, let alone those of other people.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
They've never tried it before.
The people of this country are literally allergic to apologizing. Yeah, like they would rather kill their mothers than apologize for something they've done.
We do apologize for stuff that's not our fault, like someone bumping into us in the shop.
Literally that.
Oh, sorry.
You go and kill someone's mother, like, well, you know, they said they were mean to me, so no, I'm not apologizing for that.
No, people do apologize a lot, but not for stuff that's actually that we should apologize for. Like
like when you're walking down the street and you know someone because you didn't see him. I'm so sorry. And they're like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but you don't apologize for it really matters.
Nobody walks up to you and goes,
Wayne.
I voted for Brexit. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised, Mike, that somebody that a barber in Brighton said something like that.
No, do you know what? It never ceases to surprise me that there is misogyny and homophobia in Brighton. I see it. It does happen.
It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be the land of milk and honey.
It's actually I have to admit, I've had very, very, very good nights out in Brighton.
I had a kid recently shout at me across the street saying, "Oi, gay." And I went, how is that an insult in this town? How is that an insult for a 12-year-old boy
you
to
literally live in the gay mecca of the country. What are you talking about?
I said to him, it's actually a compliment, mate. I don't know what
you're saying. Like when you said it.
Most cases you shout that at two in Brighton, they'd be like, I know, love. Like, look at me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he's over there perpetuating that horrible stereotype that.
Yeah, the horrible stereotype of all the thousands of gay people.
Hey,
there are myths I need to dispel. You know, about 20% of the population of Brighton voted Reform or Tory. They're among us.
They are amongst you, but like a lot less than here in fucking Essex. I mean, God, we're in a living hell. I think well, I was going to say me and Wayne.
You and Wayne. Yeah, but we don't know which way Wayne votes, do we? Really?
I don't trust him.
Yeah, well, Wayne could have been a secret Reform voter.
I don't trust him anymore. No way. No, I've always.
Not like he voted Tory once before.
Don't bring it up again because it'll make me really hate him. Like, don't.
I've got a Essex story that might interest you, and I think typifies Essex.
Go on then.
One bird falls over And
Can you see this zebra?
Blonde bird falls over and breaks her inflated lips.
Can you see this zebra behind me?
I can.
Yeah, it's called a zebra, everyone, in America. A zebra.
It's a zebra.
But we'll go ahead.
Zebra dies in Colchester Zoo after rhino unintentionally punctured his stomach.
Oh, don't tell me sad stories about animals. It will keep me up.
A female rhino named Astrid had been sparring with her son Teo in a mixed species enclosure when she tried to move the zebra out of the way, the zoo says, and unintentionally punctured her stomach. That's what happens in Essex.
Is it over now?
Yeah, it's over, Tan. You can come back to us.
I get really sad about animals getting hurt.
Yeah, so do I. Why have you made us all sad, Mike?
Because I was just trying to typify the Essex stabbing problem.
That's a tragic animal incident that happened in the zoo.
You should be making a joke about.
All I'm saying is this happens in Essex all the time as well.
Do you know what happened in Essex before Christmas? A man shit himself in Aldi.
Hey, Tim, if I can translate for you, it sounds like Mike is calling them zoo animals.
No, I'm just suggesting that they can't even control their young animals in the zoos of Essex.
Wow.
I'm worried about the animals on the streets. Like, as I said, the guy that shot.
There it is.
I've got a question.
See how easy it is to be a dictator? I am the dictator.
When I was growing up, there were lots of jokes about Essex girls. When you were growing up, were there lots of jokes about Scousers down in Essex, or did you not know?
Yes, loads.
No, because, well, no.
Oh yeah, you're all criminals that wear tracksuits.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean,
there's a tag team. There's a tag team wrestling faction called Grizzled Young Vets from Liverpool, and whenever they come out, everyone sings "Sign on, you'll never get a job."
Oh, that's funny because they haven't got jobs. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
You ain't laughing anymore.
Hey Wayne, your favorite wrestler came back.
Where's Mark?
So triggered for about 5 seconds.
Graham. We had the joke on the Fast Show, which was the "Hey, calm down." I remember that.
No, that wasn't the Fast Show. That was Harry Enfield and friends.
Harry Enfield. Yeah, I remember that. But apart from that, like, no. But a lot of the stuff about Essex girls is just rooted in, misogyny, isn't it?
Misogyny.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Because we used to do
that. It's like white stilettos and girls from Essex being easy and all that
shit.
Where's the line?
To be fair, Tan, you have told us 2 stories about Essex people shitting in supermarkets and bins.
Well, one was in a bin.
Doesn't mean she was easy, Mike. Because she's shitting in a trash can doesn't mean she's easy.
The thing is, when I was a teenage boy, Essex sounded like quite an attractive place to go. Because everything I heard.
Because you definitely get some clunge.
Well, yeah.
Stereotypes, most of it, but to be honest with you, the men here are worse than the women. Like, the men are sluts too. So.
Oh, brilliant! Well, that's not going to put me off. So, what does an Essex girl use for protection when she's having sex?
Oh,
a bush shelter.
Go. Oh, yeah.
Bush shelter, yeah.
Why do Essex girls wear knickers? Keep their ankles warm.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
The classics are always the funniest, right?
What next?
I would like to disassociate myself with the following joke.
I didn't even laugh. I didn't even laugh at those.
No, good for you, Mikey.
Does this happen in America? Do you have specific states or specific towns that you tell a joke about? Like the people from this town, here's a joke about them, or is it always?
They do. You know the one butt of the joke. You know, one massive butt of the joke is in America. Cleveland, Ohio.
Why?
The mistake by the lake.
Why? What's the joke about it? Are they?
Well, the one year the lake did get set on fire.
Okay.
That was interesting.
What the fuck do you set a lake on fire?
There was so much chemicals in the lake that it actually was flammable.
Where was the place with the bad water where it all went brown?
That's Detroit.
Michigan.
That's Detroit.
That's half of America.
Is that not the bit where, remember that film that was about the bad water? That was a horrible horror film with the pitchfork through the stomach. What was that film called?
Aaron Brockovich.
Crazy.
That was about water.
Which version?
Sorry, that was about a nuclear power plant. My bad.
Yeah. And a lawyer.
That's the pitchfork.
With a spike going through someone's stomach.
It wasn't a nuclear power
lawsuit.
Plant, was it?
Wow.
It was a chemical company that was dumping chemicals.
Crazies, yeah.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, sorry.
Evan Brockovich. I don't know what film Tan's talking about.
The Crazies.
It's called The Crazies.
Oh yes.
Not to be mixed up with the Crankies or the Cray Twins.
No, but that could be a crossover.
That's a hell of a crossover.
Can you imagine that crossover if Crankies became East End gangsters?
Back to the lab, Graham. We have a script to write.
Imagine
you've got Roger and Rennie flanking Wee Jimmy.
Yeah.
I've got to add that to my little black
just
book
out
of
of interest. Just out of interest, how would you sound hard if you said Fan Dabby Dozer?
Wayne can do it.
Fan Dabby Dozy, motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah, that worked.
Actually, that would work as something like a gangster. You could imagine Tom Hardy saying that like in a really threatening way. You're like, there's a big long silence.
And thumbs up as well.
They all think they're going to die, and it's like, Fan Dabby Dozy. And then he just like walks off, and they're like,
perfect.
Yeah, but would he get away with it wearing a school kid's outfit?
Yeah, probably. Tom Hardy could do that.
Oh, no. Fan Dabby Dozy in Jimmy Cranky's accent.
Yeah, can someone do a Scottish? Do a Scottish. Get down them stairs, you slags.
Dressed up looking like Angus Young from AC/DC.
I can't do that. Like the reverse of like, I can't imagine like someone that looks a bit like Nicola Sturgeon doing a get down them stairs.
Can you do the Crankies version?
All Scottish fellas, all SNP fellows in the chat will be gone now.
No, I love Nicola Sturgeon.
I felt that she had. I think it was a bit shit on her. It looked like all the men in her life just fucked up, and she carried the can. And she carried the can for it. Yeah.
Her husband's a prick. Like, and I'm glad that she's divorcing the wanker because he
is she now? I didn't see that. Is she doing that?
Yeah. Nicola Sturgeon, Nikki S is getting rid of, because I had people, kind of Scottish people, coming onto my YouTube weeks after a comment on Twitter where I called Nicola Sturgeon Nikki S as like kind of like little Essex joke where you abbreviate the name, and they're like, "Why were you calling Nicola Sturgeon Nikki S?" I was like, "It was just a kindly little like joke. It wasn't anything bad," and they thought I was taking the piss out of her. I think she's a legend.
Don't you be joking.
Those guys, man, they've been no chill whatsoever.
It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing.
Yeah, man. Like, you don't fuck with the Scottish. Trust me. Like, you do not fuck with the Scottish ever.
Especially Glaswegians.
I've just got to interrupt before we have a go at the good people of Glasgow, no matter what football team they support. We've got a super chat from Ivan. Thank you so much, mate, for a £10 super chat there. Shame on the BBC for having Nadine Dorries on Question Time. Couldn't agree more. As health minister,
she was there last night.
She failed twice to respond to me about the Tories' lack of consideration for autistic people during the pandemic. Yeah, that's because she's a piece of shit. She's a scouser. Quite embarrassing. So is Esther McVeigh.
Yeah, it's embarrassing for you that.
Yeah, but she got rid of.
And Anne Robinson from The Weakest Link. You are the weakest link. Ta-da!
Yeah, but look how well she got rid of her accent, though, guys.
They all did.
They
all did.
Well, because they know that this is like a speech impediment. Not like a physical speech impediment, but an impediment to getting a decent job.
Second hour today. I did text you.
What? No.
Oh, it was basically saying that having a go at Scousers is going to be sort of like akin to racism at some point because it's deemed such an offensive accent.
What? The accent's offensive?
I'll say.
Yeah.
Wayne, your accent's offensive.
Wayne, I will say, I don't know if you're the guy.
Hang on. Is this a privately educated Brum telling me that my accent's offensive?
Oh, it's good. Any minute now. It's going to Fed Debbie Dozy, you fucking bitch.
I'm going to go get a drink for this because this is going to be fun to watch.
In the text that I sent you, I said, and it's funny how people think that, like the Americans that we work with think your accent's like lovely, but they find mine so fucking abrasive.
How dare you speak?
No. I think you're confusing accent and character, Wayne.
That's not. You didn't tell us that's what we were voting on.
Don't worry about it. They probably think my accent is. They don't understand a thing I'm talking about.
Would you guys
Sorry,
like a
what was
tier?
that?
Would you guys like a tier list?
Exactly.
What did
Exactly, because I'm top north.
Well,
the subtitles working on Darren's feed.
If I can do a bit of shameless plugging, me and Tim do Unbox Politics where we rate things as a show. Tim, why don't we rate their British accents like S tier to like F tier?
Okay, so like among the Brits here, like who has the best accent?
Yeah, because they're all very different to us.
You have to get us to say a phrase.
Ooh,
yeah.
I don't count. I'm out of this game.
No, you're in it.
My English accent sucks.
You do a good. You do every now and then you slip into English, like you be like talking, you'd be like talking like this, and you're like, oh my god, like you will slip. Into
Oh my god, how could I ever talk like that?
Bally hell!
You got to give us a phrase.
Oh yeah. It's a tree.
Get a pinky out.
How about this is Politics Social?
Or how about, please, sir, can I have some more?
No, Tim, that's racist.
That was brilliant, Tim. That was like the best I've ever heard.
How about I'm the master of coin purse or something? No, what is it? Oh, fuck it. Go on then. What you choose? You decide.
This is Politics Social.
Yeah, this is Politics Social.
Because they need a good flat sentence that we can kind of like hear the differences.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Not me.
What are we
saying? What's the sentence?
This is Politics Social.
That doesn't feel like enough to be able to judge an accent.
No, it doesn't.
Say your name and then this is Politics Social.
There you go.
Okay.
Hello,
right,
you're watching Graham Hughes on Politics Social.
Label that one.
Scott Williams on Politics Social.
Question mark.
Hello, this is Daily Blase, and you're watching Politics Social.
This is Tan Smith, and you're watching Politics Social.
Hello, my name's Mike Dix, and you're watching Politics Social.
Oh, Mike's got the pilot voice. Did you hear that? Did you hear the pilot voice there?
Yeah, he went all into
tell us that we're cruising at 30,000 feet.
Hey, we're not done.
Come on.
Nearly went Chubbly Warner then.
Right, Mike, go. Mike.
We got Wayne, guys.
We're not done yet, Graham. Hold on.
I know, but I want to hear Mike say it.
Good evening. Welcome to Politics Social.
You've just put all that on.
That was the telephone voice. That was the telephone voice.
That was your telephone voice. That was your hello. I am a businessman. No. How would you normally say it, Wayne?
Hello, I would like to talk to you about my fucking banking.
Bam Dabby Dozy, you motherfucker.
Dabby Dozy. My name's Wayne, and I'm talking on Politics Social from the. Wayne, say it properly.
I'm going to get some Ovaltine.
Wayne put his whole elbow on the scale. Like, what was that?
Properly.
Literally.
There's going to be no H's, no T's, or anything.
Do it proper to how you normally talk.
Hello, I'm Wayne Anthony Lynch, and you're listening to Politics Social.
Thank you.
All right.
Right, and what we need to do, you guys, for America is you need to tell us where in the country we're from.
Oh God, I couldn't even know. I know Wayne's from Essex.
Wayne's from Essex. Graham's in Scousland.
Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what it's
That
called.
could encompass anywhere, like a big area.
The county of Scouse.
Yeah, the land of the Scouse. Yeah, the
Liverpool.
People's Republic of Scouse.
Liverpool, right?
Yeah,
is that right?
Liverpool. Yeah.
Mike's in Brighton. Tansky's in. I don't know.
I don't. Giving you some clues today.
I know. Well,
the Roman capital of England. It has a castle, and we mentioned its zoo.
Essex, right?
Yeah,
that's the county.
But North Essex, whereas Wayne's very much sounds like South Essex.
I'm South Central.
Oh,
there's a huge
kind of Suffolk border, so I'm a bit more country stroke.
That's interesting.
Less
So Tan, the Essex accent changes across Essex because the Liverpool accent changes across Liverpool. You know,
the actual Essex accent is Cornish. It sounds Cornish.
It does, but the North Essex accent's a little bit more kind of almost like Somerset-y, Norfolk-y.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, right that sort of way. Yeah. All right,
yeah, but whereas Mr. Blase is from, I couldn't even tell you which part of the north he's from. I would say like Darlington. York.
No.
They're gonna give us the answer.
No. Say something again.
I thought it was Tim and Mikey were supposed to be guessing this.
No, we're gonna answer as soon as you finish giving us the clues.
All we're proving here is that even the Brits can't tell where accents.
It's got a D in it, but it's pronounced with a T.
Hey guys, I gotta run, but I'm gonna give a quick rank. Yeah, I gotta run real quick. So Mike, S rank for sure. That accent sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Graham, A plus.
Thank you.
Daily Blase, A for that. I like that accent. That's Miss. I don't remember your name because I've only met you today.
Hello, Tim. Thank you.
A rank on that.
A.
Wayne. You sound like the American version of a Cockney accent. So D.
D. You get a D for Dick Van Dyke.
It sounded like Dick Van Dyke.
That is beyond harsh.
Hit him where it hurts.
Mary Poppins.
Timmy's got children. He's got kids. Have a heart, Tim. We just passed Christmas. Jeez, Tim.
I'm gonna go get me brush and me big wads and go straight to chimneys.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right, but I gotta go. It was nice talking to you guys.
Thanks, Tim. Good luck next week, mate. May the force be with you.
Take care. But I'll give you a clue. I'm from top north, West Yorkshire.
I thought it was West Yorkshire. Right, we've got Mikey's
judgment.
Not far off.
What?
Mikey's judgment. Wasn't Mikey judging us too?
Yeah.
Well, Tim did it, so I guess I don't have to. So
yeah, so he's got out of it. But does Wayne come last? That's the only question we've got.
I did. He didn't even mention me.
I'd like to know what
I don't think he knows. You know?
One Angry Pagan's feeling discriminated against because we've got no West Country accents in here. So we need more people who sound like pirates.
What we'll do is we'll play a Reef song as an outro. There you go.
Don't. Let's not do that. Fucking hate Reef. Fucking hate that.
Are they from the West Country?
No.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I never liked them anyway, but I mean, I don't like them from the West Country.
Think of the opening line to Place Your Hands.
Fucking horrible.
Oh, aren't Muse from the West Country as well?
The Muse.
Maybe.
And Portishead, because Portishead is on the way to Glastonbury.
No, Portishead's Bristol, man. Bristol's like a hotbed of like creativity. It's where I'm going to probably move, actually.
They're all pirates and graffiti artists.
I need some Belfastian. I need some Belfastian music because that's where 23andMe says my 12%
Yeah,
that's largely brass bands marching up and down the street with orange flags.
Tan, I know I'm biased, but I reckon you should move to Liverpool. If I can move to Liverpool, I'll move there tomorrow because the music. Why is it too far north? It's only 2 hours from London on the train. It's the same as Bristol.
Like Bristol for me is like, not only do they kind of basically teach their kids their ABCs and drum and bass, but it's also like really close to like all the good shit. So you're really close to Wales, you're really close to Cornwall, you're close to the best parts of the country pretty much. Plus you've also got a kind of really cool city.
Liverpool's really close to Wales as well, and the good bit of Wales, which is North Wales.
Warders
and it's close to Manchester.
So I'll have someone that I am at least, know kind of. A load of my friends from Cambridge moved to Bristol too, but
did you go to Cambridge University?
Who?
Did you go to Cambridge?
Me?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
No.
You said a lot of my friends from Cambridge.
No, I used to hang out in kind of like a rave stroke hippie cooperative housing place in Cambridge, not the posh bit. Like I used to
Graham's private school.
Yeah. I used to live in Cambridge. I used to live in Cambridge, and it's the same with Tan. People make the same mistake as they do about Brighton, that everybody in Cambridge must be an intellectual and academic.
No.
Whereas there is a massive working class area in Cambridge that
Wayne, we can't hear you. Your internet's fucked up.
Sometimes I'm glad we can't hear Wayne when he does that rant.
Oh, it's bad.
I like it when you're in America and you get chatting to a lovely American who says, "Where are you from?" And you say Liverpool, and they go, "Oh, that's nice. Do you know Terry?" Honestly, that's happened to me quite a few times now, and it's very sweet. It's very
so. What you don't have as a quasi-European is a belief in the miraculous. What if you said Terry Johnson and like, holy shit,
my brother, Terry.
How cool will it have been if you knew?
That's happened to me. That happened to me once at a party in Liverpool. And someone said they were from Kent, and I said, "Oh, do you know Ian?" as a joke, and they were literally his next door neighbour, the Ian I was thinking of.
I've had that in Scotland. I was at a random
It's worth making the joke.
It's worth it every time.
I was at a random pub in Irvine, and this guy come up to me and he said, "Oh, you're not from radio, are you?" I was like, in his Scottish accent, obviously. I was like, "No, mate, I'm from."
What are you doing here, boy?
Yeah. eating a raw haggis.
Speak, friend, and enter.
He's like, "Oh, where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, Essex." And whereabouts? I was like, "Basildon." He went, "Oh, I used to live in Basildon." I went, "Oh, shut up, mate."
Sweet.
And he's like, "Yeah, I used to live near the Barge pub." I went, "Oh, fuck off, will we? I've come all the way to Scotland." And I'm making
to escape Basildon.
To get out of there.
Yeah, right.
Shit. I love the way you started that with, "This bloke came up to me." It just reminded me of the Dudley Cook and
Derek and Clive.
Yeah. Dudley Moore and Peter Cook. "This bloke comes up to me and he says, you demonetising C unit."
Graham, a funny story about that. Like me and my my granddad, bless him, at his funeral, he was like East London through and through, and I listened naughtily to some of his Derek and Clive tapes when I was younger.
Oh, brilliant.
And on the way to his funeral, me and my cousins were in the car with our mums, and we recreated that sketch to the thing. And in a way, it was the most fitting tribute to my granddad there could have ever been. I bet he was looking down proud at us, word for word, reciting his word.
Just before we go on, Wayne, because we got a super chat from Ivan ages ago, and I haven't acknowledged it because we've been chatting too much. Ivan, thank you so much for the £10 super chat. Mr. Suffolk accent man here. All right, bro. Essex people and Cockneys refer to me as a country bumpkin and carrot cruncher. I'm urban Suffolk.
Carrot cruncher.
Ipswich.
That's not
carrot cruncher.
That is what they call them.
If you ever watch the movie Escape to Victory, a lot of the players in the background are from Ipswich. They were actual Ipswich.
I think Alan Brazil's in that.
Pele is in that.
Yeah, Pele's in it, yeah.
Is Sylvester Stallone in it? Is that just a fever dream?
Sylvester Stallone was the goalie.
Fuck off, really?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, my
goalie in the world.
Brilliant film.
Oh my God.
Brilliant film.
Did you hear that thing that went around on social media a little while ago about Steven Seagal releasing like a reggae song where he
would not surprise me.
He put on a Jamaican accent.
They all do that.
Did he black
the
up as
worst
well?
thing I've ever seen in my life, but yet one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in my life.
Yo, check out Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks' son.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he's a rude boy.
Really?
He's a rude boy.
Oh no.
Yeah, your dad is Tom Hanks. No part of you is from the island, sir.
Didn't Ali G take the piss mercilessly out of Pretty Fly for a White Guy, people like that? Like,
probably. I mean,
well, we had Tim Westwood. Tim Westwood, who thought he was black, even though he was a privately educated son of a bishop, and they
on Westwood TV,
son
he
of
got
the
all the
Bishop of
freestyles
Peterborough.
up there. He got all the
born.
Say whatever you will. He got everybody to drop the hottest freestyles y'all ever saw. I used to watch them tapes.
Fucking Zuckerberg, isn't it? Like looking like, I don't know, Napoleon Dynamite.
Man, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you see any of his
wearing a t-shirt 10 times too big?
Joe Rogan bit? Like he's grown.
No, I would not watch that.
No, I'd rather eat my own feces.
Yeah, I'm watching 3 hours.
I'd rather watch Graham eat his own feces.
I would rather watch.
He's now got the full-on Napoleon Dynamite haircut.
Yeah, but whilst cosplaying as like an extra from 8 Mile, like he's like Napoleon Dynamite from Detroit.
Yeah, why is he wearing a t-shirt that's like 17 times too big for him? Like he's literally the richest
He's
man in
tough
the world.
now. Hey, he's been doing some BJJ. He's a tough guy now. He put Dana White on his board, so he's a tough guy.
He does jiu-jitsu now, bro. Watch out.
Chris Golding. Yeah,
Tam.
What area of Cambridge was this this collective that you were part of? Was it Mill Grange, Mill Road?
Mill Road.
There you go. Christopher Golding in the chat has just guessed that you were in Mill Road and I was in Grange Road, Cambridge. There's a difference.
How the fuck did they know that?
I don't know, because he's very close to where I used to live as well.
It's so weird because Mill Road was where the kind of housing, it was Argyle Street. It was like where the cooperative was.
Yeah.
And there was basically like this kind of, it was like social housing, but for hippies. And I used to hang out with my friend Steph there. She fucked off to Bristol and then now she lives in Portugal, I think. She makes kind of really cool little knitted.
No, I'm just going to interject with my nerd power. That's CB2.
CB2, yeah, and CB1 strictly because Mill Road, there was a kind of really cool little cafe on Mill Road where everyone used to congregate there. But there was great parties at Mill Road. Like once someone spiked the punch, and there was an old guy called Rufus who sadly we lost him to COVID. But he was like the older guy. Yeah, I think he was in his like late 60s, but he used to turn up and he used to go all night at the parties, like raving it up. But yeah, it definitely wasn't the posh bit of Cambridge, Graham.
Was you used to having it larger on Parker's Piece back in the day?
Well, there was like Midsummer Common where there used to be like the Strawberry Fair and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like Parker's Piece is kind of quite open. That's the bit just off Mill Road, I think, isn't it? Where the
it's at the top. It's right at the top.
Yeah,
I used to work for Dreams because Dreams was right next door to the KFC there, and every time like Parker's Piece was always just rammed for the students, like with their little stereos and just having a little party.
Yeah, we used to go up to Fulbourn and have like raves up in the woods near Fulbourn. And weirdest thing is, I met some of the people later on that were in the background of photos that were taken at the cannabis march. I went to this cannabis march in like 2001. It was around the time of Blair and Bush, and we had like bongs not bombs on signs and stuff, and I took photos, like candid photos on like a little disposable camera.
Polaroid.
I ended up meeting in Cambridge years later one of the people that was in the background of that photo, and then I met other people in the background of those photos in a squat in Newquay like years later. It was like
brilliant.
It's so mad, but then
it's a small world.
You think all of us would probably be into weed, so at that time, so
you had a common dealer. Yeah.
Mike hasn't told us what height we're cruising at yet. Can you tell me what height we're cruising at when we're going to a destination?
We are currently cruising at 35,000 feet, and I apologise for Wayne.
Generally,
That's
for
brilliant.
existing.
I love that.
Why do I come on this show and I just get dug out all the time?
You are a massive Tory, so you know what you expect.
Mike, you should apologise for me rambling on about Mill Road and
Not at all. Not at all.
Isn't there a joke? Isn't there a joke about someone who achieves all these things in life, but then they always, everyone just knows them because they shagged a sheep? There's like a joke about it. I don't know what the joke is, but that's Wayne. No matter what he achieves in life, it doesn't matter because we know he voted Tory once.
Oh God! Don't.
Oh, bless him.
You know what? I got a text off.
You would have been best fucking a sheep, mate. It would have been less humiliating.
It's a little bit like
wishing me a happy new year. That's the other day.
That's it. It's like, oh, because... but then you shag one sheep. Yeah, that was the joke.
You shag one sheep and you're.
You shag one sheep and you're tarred for life.
You shag one sheep. And there was a joke about the brilliant. The person who was like really good with their patients and everything, but they slept with one of the patients, so they had to stop being a vet.
This is the hardest part of the job.
Scott in the chat, and I don't know if Scott Williams here agrees, but Scott in the chat says Mike has a voice like smooth gravy.
He does.
See, I think I should collect these comments together and write a new profile.
That was
a voice like smooth gravy and the balls of a 32-year-old.
Yes.
You have that on your business card, mate.
And you're gonna turn them loose on England? Oh, I shudder to think.
And a hairdresser that thinks that the California fires were caused by
started by lesbians.
Yeah.
I
that must have been some hot sex, literally.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know why all these guys are single. Yeah, just keep blaming everything. Yeah, you're looking real attractive out there, guys. Looking real attractive out there.
I love that guy who said, you know, the reason why these incels can't pick up, it's not because women are awful, it's because all their heroes are just fucking weirdo knobheads like Elon Musk. Like their heroes
Andrew Tate.
Yeah. The heroes are just fucking sad little soy boys, or whatever they call them.
They were talking about ADHD on the radio today, and they were saying this guy came out with he'd been looking at some certain studies. It said that there's a correlation between these incels and ADHD and the prison population, and it's because they man. No. This is because they were talking about that guy that's just been recalled to prison because he got let off of a murder charge because they mitigated ADHD.
He didn't get let off. No, he tried to use it as an excuse.
Yeah. Mitigation.
I don't think you get off from a fucking murder charge by going.
Just because you're ADHD.
I needed the dopamine hit, man. I don't make my own dopamine. I have to rely on adrenaline.
Wayne, mate. It was autism. It was autism. He tried to. He had a lack of impulse control in stabbing a young girl to death, but they were like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
They didn't have it as a justified.
Yeah, my ass.
Yeah.
But this guy that rang up, he has autism, and he was saying like he's been looking at all these studies that show a link between like these far right shooters in America and autism, and no, because they can't socially adjust correctly, and that's something where they tend to be, they need routine and they need to be in their own little space, and they tend to
it's not part of their routine to go and shoot up a school, is it?
But I can see if they're not being given the support that they need and deserve.
Correlation is causation, man.
You know, and if you want to talk about mental health and crime, those two things are very intrinsically linked. If you suffer from mental health problems and you're a nepo baby, you're born rich, you can get everything that you need. If you're not, you have to wait 2 years to see a fucking psychotherapist.
Yeah, if that, more than that often. Like there is correlation isn't causation, and there are some people that happen to have autism that are wankers. You know, it's just the way it is. But that's where the whole as I said, correlation causation thing comes in, because you can have these disorders and things and
not murder anyone.
Kill people.
Yeah.
But what I have a problem with is people.
Graham.
Yeah.
I think there's always a, I've got an ADHD diagnosis. You've just got one, Graham, and we still haven't murdered anyone yet.
I've got until a couple of weeks left, and then I might have one. Then I might murder some people.
Yeah.
Maybe
and then blame it on the ADHD.
We're all waiting for you to get your diagnosis. Then we can go on a murder spree, the three of us.
Yeah.
ADHD gang.
Natural born killers of UK.
As long as we can bring Vader along for the ride.
Do you still want Vader?
Of course I do.
He's running around like a nutter. He's just pulled down my curtain nearly.
Not selling him here, Tan. Not selling him.
I sent Sienna a picture of him. She's like, I can't wait to meet him.
When are you going to come and get Vader? Because he's driving me mental.
Again, good selling.
Can I just say? I know I said this on
I've got 4 cats in my house.
Okay, listen, guys, you can trade pussies later. Just let me say. I've already mentioned this on Morning Brew, but I want to say it now. Since I got the diagnosis last week of ADHD, it's actually made a lot of things in my life a lot easier, and I don't know why, because I've not been given any medication, I've not been given any therapy or anything. Just knowing that I definitely have it, and then it's not like I might have it, but I've definitely got it, has made me way more awake, way more alert, way more organized than I've been in a fucking long time. Really? And I've got loads of shit done. I actually bothered to write down a list of all my fucking amazing ideas for screenplays, TV shows, and everything. I actually wrote them down on a fucking spreadsheet.
Well, Graham, I got bad news. You have more wrong with you.
Wayne, he's here. Wayne, he's
some
here.
OCD. OCD creeping.
Yeah. You have now OCD.
Yes.
We could
ADHD, OCD.
Honestly,
I can diagnose him with things. He'll keep getting better.
I can plug in my GoPro and you can see the state of my desk here, and you will know that I do not have OCD.
He's now hyper focused on doing lists. That's the worst possible thing that
No,
can
I do that.
He's got list HD.
I do like a list.
Oh, there he is. There's my boy.
Check it twice.
He's got these really cute little fangs.
Those are cute. I'm going to avoid the obvious cliched joke here, but that is a very cute looking cat.
Oh,
I know where you was going to go.
Because otherwise it made my own one recoil in horror. So thank you.
Yeah.
So in the chat, just to jump into the chat for a moment, Terry Appleton's just said Nuki is better in winter once the emmets have left. And I had an Australian girlfriend many moons ago, and I remember having a conversation with her about if you ever had a kid, what we would like to call the kid. It's sort of conversation that you have with a long-term girlfriend, I guess. And she suggested the name Emmett, and my mum was like, "No fucking way." No. I mean, if you're watching this,
get her out of my house
for that reason, because she used to work down in Newquay, and they used to call knobheads Emmets. that was the slang name for it, I think. Terry, can you just explain to me what an Emmet is exactly? Because I'm not entirely sure. But we were thinking of Doc Brown from Back to the Future. His first name is Emmett.
We've gone full circle.
Yes.
So remember you talking at the start about Emmett Brown and how he couldn't calculate.
I don't remember ever hearing that phrase, and I worked at Somerset.
It's a Cornish phrase, apparently.
Yeah.
I've lived in Newquay probably the total of about 2 years of my life, and I've never ever.
You never heard Emmett?
I heard Emmett.
It comes from the word Emmet, A-E, funny simple met, which means ant.
I've met a lot of people that didn't.
Could it be your auntie? Or your
could it be that Supertansky is an Emmet, and that's why she doesn't know?
Yeah, it's because they said it behind her back.
They're saying it about her.
Mike, do you say aunt and aunt differently depending on whether it's? Do you say aunt?
I say aunt.
Oh, so you say aunt and aunt.
It depends on the aunt or aunt's. It depends on the aunt or aunt's name, because some it works better with aunt and some works better with aunt.
That's really interesting.
That's aunt. It's auntie because it's got a U in it. It's got a U in it.
Aunt.
You don't say half your syllables anyway.
I just say aunt.
Oh yeah. And you take away words, take away letters even.
What? Scousers?
You don't say T's.
There's no R in Bath.
Graham.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I was a fucking Emmett. Like that could have been.
Might be you.
Oh God, this is one of those revelatory moments, isn't it?
No.
Where Tan's
This
going,
is like when you're in a
God.
room with like 10
What if
people
I was
and
the
one of you is a
fucking
psychopath and none of the other people are psychopaths. It must be you.
It's like...
Dan, lay down. We'll treat this as therapy. We'll get you through this.
We'll talk through this
with the locals and shit. I saw someone off a cliff.
You saw someone? What? Hang on.
Wait, shut up. That doesn't qualify you as a local.
Did you just say you saw someone fall off a cliff?
Yeah.
Were they all right?
No, they were paralysed.
Fuck me.
Oh my God.
Don't go to cliffs with Tan. Don't go to cliffs with Tan.
I was squatting in Newquay. Actually, I actually had to leave Newquay because I was on the run.
What, over a bin?
No, over the...
Oh, this gets even worse.
Tan, this is one of those paragraphs that you're about to say that in every third word means we have questions. You were on the run.
Well, I had to flee Newquay in the night because the people we were squatting with robbed.
You're not helping.
They robbed a local shop. We had nothing to do with it.
Certainly not helping.
And I've still got the paper. It's like squatters take over local buildings, and we had there was a gannel in Newquay in Crantock, and on either side we had a squat on either side of the river. We used to do Morse code at each other, and anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, a guy fell off. We were on Tower and one night in Newquay, and we were selling beer to make money to the tourists. And there was a guy shouting, drunk. He was probably about I would say about 100 foot up.
Oh my God!
Oh wow!
And it overlooks Tower Beach, which has got this really cool little island that links to a house on it. If you look at it in Newquay, and we were like, "Get the fuck away from the cliffside!" And people were running up to get to him. And he went to kind of jokingly step forward, and then he stumbled and he fucking onto wet sand, basically falling on concrete essentially.
Yeah.
And he was alive, but he wasn't fucking moving. And we read a week later that he was paralyzed, he was done.
Jesus Christ.
But that was and then the guy that we were sitting with in this kind of group of people that we'd met in Newquay, he died a week later of an overdose. It was pretty intense. But
and all these people around you dying while you were on the run.
I think
and,
I'm
and you're not realizing that you might have been the Emmett.
No. To make things clear, I wasn't on the run then. We were kind of.
I wasn't get it right, Mike.
Myself, I wasn't wanted by the police. The people that committed the crime were.
Can someone check the statute of limitations on this?
No, I committed no crimes, which is why I'm talking about it. But at that time you could use a Section 6 or Section 16, and you could use squatters' rights on buildings. So you could just take them over if they were disused, and that was the old rave kind of thing. And so we were in this building, and then the bloody Bristolians that came and lived with us, they got involved in some crime.
Guys, I just want to interrupt because this is quite important. The Israeli government have just approved the ceasefire agreement.
Oh, well fucking done.
Thank fuck for that.
Well,
hopefully we can have a breather for about 6 weeks before they start killing.
What's his chops is going to resign then? The proper ultra far right twat.
I don't think so. I don't think any of them are going to resign because Netanyahu will be in jail if he resigns, so he's going to stay.
No, he said if it gets ratified, he's going to resign. The letters of resignation are going in straight away.
Oh, good.
I hope he fucks off. He's a wanker.
Yeah.
This is performative.
Yeah.
This is to shut everybody up and to give Trump a win.
Well, it's just
inauguration.
It's just been approved a couple of minutes ago.
Sorry,
Tammy. I interrupted your story about being on the lam.
I should probably shut up, to be honest with you, because I'm making myself sound like a criminal. But
you are genuinely incriminating yourself with every word.
Tell me about these jokes you used to tell about Scousers in tracksuits who were criminals.
Did they wear Adidas tracksuits by any chance?
No. No. But I just want to make one thing really clear. I was never involved in any of that. I just got out.
That's what they all say.
So I got away from the people that I was associated with. But I had
most of these crimes seem fairly minor and wouldn't prohibit you from becoming the president of America.
I was a naughty teen, and young 20-something. I used to go to rave. Go to punks.
Sam, when I come to pick up Vader, please don't be alarmed if you see me wearing a full crash helmet and bubble wrap suit.
What? Are you coming as a roadman? I can say brat, if that helps.
Yeah, just in case I fall off any, cliffs or off the.
Are there any cliffs?
One off a cliff. I was watching horrified.
You push one person off a cliff and you're tarred for life. That's the problem.
Story that I'd killed someone.
Hey Wayne, what's that?
That's what we all heard, Tan.
Wayne, what's that backpack? Are you gonna do some wash? Oh no, that's my parachute. No reason.
So like the guy could probably have base
grappling hook.
Base jumping won't save you, Wayne. I mean, to be honest with you, you're tall enough.
Oh, there's a threat.
Well, you're tall enough to do a base jump anyway.
What? We can do a base jump off Wayne. You mean?
I can base jump off Wayne.
Wayne goes to all those bungee jumping places and just goes wee splash.
It's the one. It's the one I wouldn't do. I've done bungee jumps. I've jumped out of planes. I've done paragliding, all that shit. I would.
You were in a plane?
Base jumping. I would.
What are you doing in a plane?
I thought you
jumping out of
planes.
Hang on. We've just discovered a fatal flaw in Graham's. Get your world
I was
record.
sitting in the cafe. Hang on, Mike. I'll tell you what happened. I was sitting in the diner, right, with 3 of my friends, right, and I was telling them how they weren't going to get me on that plane, right? No, I was telling them those fools wouldn't get me on a plane, and they went, "Here, drink this milkshake," and I went, "Thanks." I drank the milkshake, and I woke up on the plane.
So they Mr. T'd you?
Yes, and then I jumped out the plane because I was so disgusted at their behaviour.
They breakfast you, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
But no, base jumping, way too dangerous. I'm sorry, it's a split second and you're dead. No, screw that.
You know the one.
Mikey has changed his name to Mikey Mad Jazz.
Mad Jazz.
That joke was for you, and I'm glad you finally saw it.
I'm very, very, very glad to have finally seen it. Yeah.
The bungee jump I don't like.
Jazz.
Okay,
when
listen.
They rock up in a crane over a car park at some like festival leisure park. Like, do you want to do a bungee jump over a car park? No, you're
What's
right,
the
bro.
point?
I'm already down here. I'm already down on the pavement. Thank you.
I'll do it over some water, not a problem. But do it over a car park? No, you're right, bro. If my harness ain't tight enough, bye bye.
Wait, we gotta. We have a.
Like, I love you, girl.
What? What?
You're never take me alive.
Doing his sign language there, man. He was like,
I was talking to Catherine.
You're like, I love you, baby.
That's love.
Oh, that is lovely.
Oh,
I learned that from Mr. Tumble.
Yes.
Graham's got. Who knew Graham had got a soft side?
Why was Mr. Tumble telling you that he loved you? That's really fucked up.
He was very, very strange.
Why is Scott waving like a madman?
I'm gonna go.
Oh no, Scott.
Baby.
No, Scott,
You didn't even get to tell us any news that happened this week because we've been talking about people falling off the cliff and Muse and
all we talked about was Tan having someone's accents, someone falling off the cliff, Mike's 20-year younger balls, and Elon Musk
is a cheater.
Oh my god!
That's all I got out of this.
That's a good summary of
I'm
tonight's
amazed
chat.
anyone's still watching. Thank you for sticking with us. Everyone who's trying to watch it for like some actual politics, some actual news.
Next week, I'm coming with a political story, and we're going to discuss it for a full 1 minute. All right?
Okay. You're on, Scott. You're on. Have you got a quick story before you go? Have you got anything you want to?
No, not really.
Get off your chest.
I love you, baby.
Bye, Scott.
Well, how about
you guys later.
I love you, bro.
Good night, Scott. How about if I ask you this? Well, as I was eating my dinner Thursday, my wife was just looking at the news and she said, "Oh, is Labour doing an inquiry into grooming gangs?" And I went, "Not that I know of." Well, judging by Thursday, they are now. So I just wondered, What's your thoughts on that? As soon as I thought of that, you fucking idiots.
You cowed.
Yes,
they're not though,
can.
are they? Yvette Cooper's announced, there's funding and organisation available for local inquiries, which is what they've been recommending all the way.
Yeah, like 5, isn't it? Like I think
they're just giving them crumbs off top table. That's it. That's all they're doing.
But they should be done. They should be done.
There were definite
institutional problems.
Good night, Mum. Can everyone wave to your mum? Good night, Mum.
Good night, Mum.
See you on Wednesday.
Sorry, you had to hear my stories of criminality.
Yes.
They weren't related to me. They weren't. I didn't do anything.
And sorry about the testicle conversation. That wouldn't happen had I known you were in the room.
She won't mind.
If Aid had been here, it'd have been worse.
I watched all of Game of Thrones with my mum.
Thing is,
dragons. Yeah.
Thing is,
also, it's not the first time me and your mum have discussed my testicles.
Mike, she's probably still watching, mate.
She said goodbye.
Yeah, but
anyway, where were we? Sorry, I was.
But the thing is, what most people will take out of it. But most people will take out of that is, Labour have kowtowed. When I watched it, and the first thing Chris Phibbs said was basically, is he going to apologise for calling people jumping on the bandwagon who are far right and blah blah blah. But
they were asking for a national inquiry. I mean, I get you. I absolutely hear you. That all they're going to hear is that there is now an inquiry. Yeah, but ultimately there should be an inquiry. There were institutional failings in all of those towns, in the police, in the education system, in the council. There were problems in all of those towns. And we need to find out why and how they happened, and we need to sort them out.
Well, I know why they happened, because of institutional misogyny, where those girls were called sluts, and they were told that they were asking for it, and they were told that they were lying. There was a culture, and there has always been a culture of disbelief towards women that come forward about any form of sexual violence, going back definitely back to then. But even now you would face that from the police, because there's nonces and offenders in the police force, especially Tory MPs, and there was a massive culture of disbelief, and one of the people that actually brought forward mandatory reporting and brought forward a culture of belief of victims was fucking Keir Starmer in his job as Director of Public Prosecution. So for them to and Nazir Baswa as well, who was also a massive part of that. So, and they were named in the report as being, key figures that were trying to bring these people to justice, and the Tories did fuck all, because the Tories were knee deep in offenders. And
which is why I get a bit annoyed with that whole line of guilty until innocent until proven guilty in all of these cases, because if you're going to announce that everyone who is accused of something horrific is innocent until they're proven guilty, look on the other side of it. You're saying that the accuser is lying until they're proven not to be lying.
Yeah.
So no, the balance of justice has got to change. It really does.
Correct me if I'm wrong as well, but the whole point of this argument anyway is that there is a quote of Boris Johnson on the radio saying, "I'm not going to spaff 20 million up the wall sorting out this inquiry."
In relation to the 60 million that had at that point been spent on the child abuse inquiry, he was talking about a colloquial term for jizz to describe a child abuse inquiry, and they didn't give a fuck, because they were like a number of their prominent MPs, some of which hasn't even been published, which I can't even talk about, but I know about it. A number of their MPs I know for certain were rapists, and the problem is you can't
allegedly.
Well, I say allegedly. I'm not naming anyone, but there's I saw DMs between investigative journalists. I saw the paperwork on that, and there were really horrific cover-ups. I mean, even Nadine Dorries in her book spoke of a serial rapist in the Tory party whose victim was given private care, which they paid for. She even spoke about it herself. I mean, there was a horrific situation in terms of offending in the Tory party.
And then when you guys ask me like, oh, how could America vote for a rapist? Everyone votes for rapists. There are tons of rapists. Like we're inside this bubble. Like we're inside this bubble.
I'm not even surprised anymore.
You know what I mean?
I think there's a bit of a difference though between a rapist that everyone knows is a rapist because he literally was a court case, and a lot of the people in Britain don't know these people are rapists.
No, they just get.
But what I'm saying is, for at least over here in the States, 40% of adult women have had some sort of sexual assault in their life.
Oh, it's way more.
It's not like those men are not out there voting for people who are like them. Right? They don't see it as a problem because they're just as bad.
Well, 77.7 million people don't see it as a problem. They don't see that what would stop you from owning a gun or driving a school bus as being a problem for, being president of the United States.
We're no better. Like in Britain, it's definitely no better. I agree.
It's a culture. It's a culture of being okay with these people being pushed up because they don't see that as that bad. It's not bad to them.
No, I agree, and it's also kind of self-protection as well. It's kind of the absolute denial amongst virtually every man that they could possibly know a man capable of it, and that's the problem. That's what kind of keeps it under wraps and keeps it this kind of culture of misogyny going. Is that like every single woman knows a man that has been accused of DV, rape, sexual assault, harassment. I'm yet to meet a single man that has admitted knowing a guy capable of it. And there's also the fact that like those guys obviously don't talk to other men about it a lot of the time. So it's not as if kind of blaming decent fellas for not being aware because those men keep that under wraps. But it's more the culture of believing other women when they say like your mom did this to me.
Yeah, and not blaming them. It's the only crime where the person gets blamed. And this was a point that I think it was Jess Phillips pointed this out in Parliament. The fact that when rape cases have actually, come to fruition and the guy actually goes down for it, generally speaking, it's a case where the woman has died. So you can't blame her. She's actually been murdered as a result.
No, you're more likely to see a rape conviction if he kills you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then you can't be blamed. You can't. Oh, it was what were you wearing? Imagine your house got robbed, and they were like, you come back and you're like, shit, my house has been robbed, and the police are like, yeah, but what were you wearing? Did you have anything to drink? Yeah. Did you leave them on? Did you have
why did you let them in?
Did you leave the house?
We had that case. We had that case this week with that poor young lady took her own life because of the abuse of her ex-partner, and they didn't even charge him with manslaughter.
No,
she wasn't listened to.
In her suicide note as being the cause of her
death.
This is
why I'm doing it. Yeah.
And the jury disagreed with her, and she did it so that she could try and he blew a kiss to his new girlfriend from the dock. This is the problem. Like these men are like on dating apps. Like I joined a local thing called Are We Dating the Same Guy? And I thought it would be this kind of like funny little thing where people would like dish a little bit of tea on these guys being cheeky or whatever. But no, like a lot of the women in these groups, when a guy's photo is posted from like Tinder or Bumble, it's like, check Claire's law. This guy abused me. This guy raped me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like these men are just free to go on dating apps. Like,
there's no check for that.
I know about 5 women in my life who have had like serious crimes perpetrated against them by men. All those men are free. Like none of them have ever seen jail. So this is the problem. Like we have a culture of disbelief, and I think that's a big part of why grooming gangs were able to, whichever race was perpetrating it, vastly men of white origin do it, 80 something plus in the stats, but it all comes back to how usually the victim is treated, like how she's disbelieved, how nobody believes that she,
and just to bring it into the politics of this week, the Hesketh, is it Hesketh, the defense guy? His hearing, Tim Waltz just went through a list of all of the sexual assaults, the drunken situations, the quoting from the letter from his mother describing him as a human being she couldn't allow in her life.
A plague on women.
Yeah.
A plague on women, she called them.
His own mother.
And then she retracted that when he was nominated.
She went on Fox News and said, my husband tells me I do be thinking so crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what she went on Fox News and said. I'm just
genuinely.
My husband tells me I just kind of lose it sometimes.
And in the hearing, I watched the hearing live, and the guy just sits there going, "Hey, nothing was proved in court. Everything's fine. Yeah, I fathered a baby in a potential rape case, but that wasn't proved." Basically,
like even in this country, people are like, "Oh, well, the charges were dropped, so he's innocent." No, charges dropped do not mean innocence. Charges dropped means they have the evidence.
Prove it.
It says here
they can't bring it to court necessarily, but that doesn't mean the person's lying or he didn't do it.
Exactly.
I went on Statista, which is like a stat like accumulating website, and it says in the United States, significantly more women than men are sexually assaulted. In 2023, 376,038 women were raped or sexually assaulted in the U.S. And that's down from the previous year. So when women are like, I don't trust guys, I don't want to be like, this is not like, that's one in 100, right? That's 1 in 100 chance for this year. You know what I mean? Like 1 in 100 chance, 1% chance every time you walk out the house. And if you had that kind of paranoia, and if you have that kind of paranoia, which is justified by the active physical threat on your person on a day-to-day basis, all of this other shit kind of sounds kind of stupid, because we're walking past, the main point here. And as soon as you start to advocate as a guy, as soon as you start to advocate for women's safety and stuff like that, that's why I'm not for getting rid of guns in the U.S., because women need guns too to keep the fucking men off of them.
Do fewer women get raped in America statistically than in the UK? Because I thought that actually per 100,000 people it was more.
I know there's a lot of rapists with a bunch of bullet holes in them.
Yeah, but it's not reducing the amount of rape. It's a bit like the death penalty doesn't actually reduce the amount of murders. You've got 5 times.
I'm not asking the state to perpetrate it based on racist systems that they built themselves to execute black men. So that's a whole nother egg and basket. But look, they need something to protect themselves. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you on that. Like one of the things that I said in anger in response to the "your body, my choice" thing was, okay, women, tool up. Like, fucking tool up.
But the thing is, I've got to interrupt because you're 7 times more likely to be killed with a gun if you have a gun in the house. And it's generally the people who die are women being shot by their abusive husband.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, because
it doesn't protect you. Like, the stats don't show that it protects you in any way, shape, or form. If they did, there'll be fewer rapes per 100,000 in America. There isn't, and there'll be fewer. Well, there'll be fewer burglaries. There isn't. There'll be fewer car thefts. There isn't. The only stat where we outdo the US in per person. This isn't a total number. Is knife crime. We're a bit more stabby than in America, but then
that is largely because you can't get guns. So
it's not easy. Well, it's not easy to get guns. I mean, you can if you know the right people.
Tan, I must ask you not to incriminate yourself any more than you already have.
Don't tell us you're a gun dealer as well as your drug dealer.
Tan, I don't want you to pick up a new shovel. I want us to put the other one down and then leave that one down.
No, but there is a good point Graham's making there, because especially one of the most depressing stats that I saw in recent times was that women aren't even safe in their fucking houses. It's one of the places where you're most likely to get killed in Britain.
Yeah. And 2 women a week. 2 women a week are murdered in their own home.
And one of the worst things,
one happened just down there.
And one of the worst elements of it is that if a man does stab you in your own home, he's likely to get a vastly reduced sentence than if he does it just outside your front door.
It used to be almost not illegal. I mean, the law has progressed slightly on this, but it used to be a.
In the 70s, you couldn't get prosecuted for raping your own wife.
Up to the 90s, mate. It was the early 90s before they actually changed that law.
Yeah, it's very
recent. It was the 70s.
No, it was the early 90s that they actually got around to changing that law.
Yeah,
up to that point you couldn't, and I had a friend who that happened to his mum, and they couldn't prosecute the dad because it was the 80s.
If you're stabbed in the street by a man that's trying to murder you, you're going to get a higher sentence that he's going to get a higher sentence than if he does it just inside your front, like inside the home, which shows that there's still a long way to go in terms of domestic abuse. But it does kind of make me kind of second guess the thing that I was talking about earlier, where, because obviously there's also the aspect of guns getting turned on you too, and a lot of the
there's a friend of mine works for an organization that works with kids and the law, and they've got some recent research that suggests that knife ownership amongst teenagers is up quite dramatically. And when they did the qualitative research underneath that and said, why did you get a knife? The vast majority, about 80% of the answers were that they'd been told that lots of bad people had got knives, so they got one to protect themselves. So it turns out the majority of these knives are in the hands of people that think they're being good.
Yeah.
And they get used against them in various ways because, you know, you pull a knife out in defense and it looks like attack.
It's like the good people with guns defense, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I've always had like not bother, or there's a little thing going on around my way, and I always think like I'm not going to get involved because I'm a big guy. They'll see me as a scalp. Do you know what I mean? They always want to, like, for bragging rights. Oh yeah, I'll see that big guy. Yeah, I've done him. So I just keep my nut down and just stay out of everything.
It's so
weird. Stuff going on.
I don't worry about it when I go to London, but then I think a part of that's probably like massively white privilege. Like when I'm walking around London, if I go to somewhere in London, I'm normally going to like a meeting, or I'm going into maybe Central. I'm not going to the places where the worst. I mean, I might get my phone robbed out of my hand, but I'm not worrying about getting stabbed up when I'm in London, because I'm kind of like blissfully out of that scene. Like,
because the thing is, most people in London that get stabbed know the person that stabbed them.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what I mean?
like a turf war thing, isn't it? Like it's a kind of
no one just randomly jack someone up for nothing.
You know, that's incredibly true. And like the sad thing is, if someone means you harm in this life, it's usually someone who knows you. It's, you know, stranger crime is quite rare comparatively. When I was growing up, you saw you used to get these like what are they called, the public information films that you used to get.
Oh, they were
like
terrible.
Someone going round in a fucking ice cream van and picking up kids, you know, off the street and bombing them in the back of the ice cream van and taking them off. And I'm like,
and the ice cream van man was like, oh, it's my big break. Yes, I played a nonce.
Or a pylon. A pylon was going to murder you.
Yeah, great gig.
Just to talk about that story though, that this week, it really, I mean, it was a personal thing for me because I lost a friend last year in very, very similar circumstances. And I had a long phone call with a legal friend of mine who's actually a judge.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Said, can anything be done about this guy that drove her to suicide? And she said no, because you can't prove in a court of law what was in someone's mind when they take their own life,
they don't give
even if they leave a note. And this guy was in jail. He got out of jail. He was in jail for stalking her. And then he got out of jail and he stalked her some more. He was rearrested. It's told he was going to get like 2 years, I think, in jail, but, you know, he'd be out in 6 months. And she just decided that she couldn't take it anymore. She left behind 3 children.
This is something very close to my heart and close to my front door. So my neighbour got 6 months in Nick for beating up his ex-missus. She was in the house for the kids. Then when he got released, because the tenancy was in his name, she had to move out. He got the house. Then he got with this new girl that happened to be my former colleague and mate, his daughter. She moved in, and everything was hunky-dory. And then over time, she became more like her. She used to be like, "Oh, you're right, Wayne, how you doing?" And then as time went on, she became more and more subdued and would just smile at me. Wouldn't sort of like, she'd be like, "I'll be like, you right?" And then next thing you know, she gets murdered by my neighbour.
Fucking hell,
and her body's found over Wat Tyler Park, and he's now banged up for 26 years.
God, well,
and
at least he went to fucking jail, mate.
Yeah,
this guy's probably out by now.
Yeah, but
living
his life.
Like dating apps, like that's
horrible.
Like this is the problem. Like there's no consequences for doing this to women. Like this is the problem. Like I was talking about this online the other day. One of my dear friends, her virginity was lost to gang rape, and that's not even the worst story that I've got in terms of my circle of female friends. Jesus. And none of the men are in prison. Not one of them have ever seen prison. And this is when there is no consequences whatsoever for this kind of behavior. They're going to do whatever the hell they want to do. Like this is there's no societal consequences, there's no justice for these men. They're just able to do whatever the fuck they want, and their excuse is, oh well, it's her word against mine, and he's always
and it's a 1% chance of them going to jail for it.
Increasingly nowadays,
they're banning abortion here.
Yeah, even if they were prosecuted, nowadays they can say, well, that was 4 years ago, that's a lifetime ago, so why shouldn't I be nominated as the defense secretary, basically?
Well, all their job
forgave me.
will see them as, like, this is the problem. Like a lot of the judges that we have are men that are of immense privilege, largely men of immense privilege who don't have to live in the communities that they're making judgments on the people that live in the fucking community, and they will just hand down pitiful sentences, or they'll be like, oh well, in the case of a sportsman recently, a quite prominent sportsman, oh well, you know, your job matters, so like that matters more than the life-old crime that you've inflicted on a woman. The problem that we have here is a woman's life does not mean as much as a man's, and they make that clear in their judgments and in their sentencing, and in the fact that there's an absolute lack of consequences for women. So it's really fucking depressing. And what Graham's had to deal with is what we're seeing played out in the media now. Like, even if it did get to a jury, the problem is juries are so biased, and often
she had a history of mental health problems. They would have used that against her.
Exactly. That's what they did.
She'd split with her husband a couple of years earlier. They would use that against her. They would use so much stuff against her to say she you know, this was a guy that she was dating, and then, you know, they split up and he just couldn't handle it.
She's the one on trial somehow.
Yeah.
This is that's exactly what they did with this woman. They said, oh, because she had a history of mental health issues. It's like, well, no shit, mate. Domestic violence makes any mental health issue worse.
But like, she was more likely to do this kind of thing because of those mental health issues, and
I think
like he basically tapped into that. Do you know, I'm going to Liverpool next week. I'm going on Wednesday, and because I'm a bit ADHD, you know, out of sight, out of mind. I have a list on my phone of my Liverpool friends, so I remember to contact them all to tell them I'm in Liverpool, and her name's still on the list, and I cannot bring myself to delete her name off the list, even though, you know.
All right. How long are you in Liverpool for?
I'm going on Wednesday, and then I'm coming back on Sunday. I'm going to an 80s party, Wayne. We're going to have to dress up like the 80s. And I was like, oh, Kat, let's dress up as Beavis and Butthead. And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, Wayne and Garth and Wayne's World. She's like, no.
What are you going with then?
I think I'm going to go with a Nirvana t-shirt and a lumberjack shirt.
How can you go with a Nirvana t-shirt? That's not 80s.
Cat has anything to do with it, by the sounds of it.
Did I say 80s?
He's going with...
Yeah, you said 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 90s. 90s party. 90s.
That's what I was like, why are you doing Wayne's World? That was
no, 90s. Definitely 90s party.
Goes Courtney Love.
If Kat has anything to do with it, you'll be going with taste, by the sounds of it, Graham, and you'll thank her for it by the end of the night.
Kat's already got her outfit. She looks like Winona Ryder in Reality Bites.
Oh, that's a really cool outfit.
Can I
get a boom
guys? Yeah, because I feel
I
feel the room lightening a little bit. But can we just reference some of the people in the chat that are talking about experiences of their own as well? Just to, you know, one angry pagan talking about his mother. Chris Chris C is talking about things that have happened. I think there's many people expressing themselves in there, and just shout out to all of you for what you're going through.
Because you sometimes have it on the side here, G, but I can't see it anywhere.
I'm on my phone, so I can't see shit.
No, I can't.
It's just.
But yeah, massive.
People have gone through some really difficult stuff, and what would really help is the idea that there's some kind of fucking justice out there.
Yeah, that would help. Yeah,
and for years, I guess this is why so many people went. Well, the patriarchy went in for religion so hard, because it was like, no, don't expect justice in this life. Wait till the next one, and then they'll get justice there. They'll burn in hell forever. We don't have to put them on trial. We don't have to put them in jail now.
One thing we cannot advocate for, even if we believe someone has done wrong and they have been through the court system and they've been acquitted, there is no
because there's not enough evidence.
No right to do. No, but there's no right for vigilante stuff, because you're going to get yourself in bother. So, as much as it may pain us and may anger us, that person that we know has got off, like the vigilante thing, is not going to do us any favours.
No, I'm not saying we should have a vigilante thing, Wayne. I'm saying that we should have a system that isn't so clearly designed to discriminate against the victim in these kind of cases, especially if the victim's a woman.
Because I know full well that I would advocate for having, like, us breeding a complete race of Vulcans that could sit on juries and no emotion, just look at the facts, look at the stats, and look at everything, take all emotion out of it, and maybe we get better.
Yeah, like an Uber race.
You're arguing for an AI judge and jury there. That's
well, no, I'm just saying it's like what we were saying
today.
Earlier
your
about,
jury will be powered by Grok.
I was gonna continue actually, and Chris C said what I was gonna say. Not just justice. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Not just justice, but support and empathy. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and stop this culture of victim blaming and going, oh, she must have brought it on herself. There must have been something that she did to encourage this person.
Because like defense lawyers,
themselves, apparently.
Defense lawyers will go through absolutely everything. They'll go through their social media. They'll be like looking at, oh, she said, oh, I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to go and do that. Oh, look, this is the culture that she's sort of like indoctrinated to. And so she's gone back to this person's house with the full intent, and now she's changing her story. Actually, no, that shouldn't even be like admissible.
Chris C is saying, would everyone agree that there needs to be a register of domestic abusers where they would have to register
100%.
the details every
100%.
year and receive unannounced home visits from the police? Yes, Chris, 100%. Absolutely. That definitely needs to happen.
The thing is that Tan referenced that there is data out there. There are websites out there of women protecting themselves by sharing information about people on these dating sites. And there's no reason why the dating apps don't take that into account in some way to flag up accounts. They could do it.
Unfortunately, we've got this thing which I can get done for leaving my clipboard on my dashboard with someone's name and address on, like the data protection stuff.
Yeah,
true. If I leave that on my dashboard, which is just,
but if when you register on the dating app, you register that you're okay for your data to be used in that way, then you get around that problem.
Yeah, and also, can I say, as a stepdad, I would have no problem with my partner, being able to look up a database to see if I could be a stepdad. Do you know what I mean? Like, there would be no threat to her children.
In a way, despite your data protection rights and your perfect right to protect your data from being shared, the fact that you might refuse, I'm not saying you, Wayne, or the fact that a man might refuse to agree for that data to be referenced,
red flag.
That would tell you something as well.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the way they're trying to, and this is where it all gets so grey area. Like I'm saying to you, if I'm leaving my dashboard, I could be talking to a person on their doorstep. I've just chucked my clipboard on my dash. Getting ready to go to my next job. Someone could come along and snap a picture of their details, which has got their name, address, email, all that sort of stuff, just there, ready for me to go to my next job. And then I'll be the one held to account if something happens to that person because they've nicked their data from my job. But if you have that in an online capacity that's not secured and not sort of legally binded in the sense of you like the sex offenders register, like you have to declare that, because if someone does a little search on you and they find out, yeah, you're a bit of a nonce, we can't have you working with kids. Like for my job, I have to have the advanced DBS checks because I'm going into sort of like
but I mean, if you
go
if you get into a relationship and you have children and you're a woman, you get a relationship with a man that you met on a dating app or whatever, like there's no way of getting the data to find out if that guy has been charged with domestic abuse in the past or sexual abuse in the past, is there? You can't demand a DAB check of them.
There is if you've got for instance, if you get arrested for certain things, you cannot go to America, even if you've not been charged.
Yes, yeah. I'm not talking about that way, and that's getting a job, or I'm talking about relationships. I don't know if there's a way of checking if you go on a dating app or you're dating someone and you have children.
But this is what I'm saying. This is where the grey area is.
And we get these Tories going on about protecting the children all the time when it suits them. When it suits them to protect the children, they'll do that. When it doesn't suit them, they won't. When it allows them to be racist, assholes.
This is where the grey area is, because you have a right to protect your privacy and your data, but at the same time, when it comes to a private relationship, at what point does the state have a right to step in and say, here's a national registry of
they wouldn't be stepping in, it'd be optional. A woman wouldn't have to check it, but it would be advisable for her to check it. And the man who's being checked shouldn't mind being checked. It should be like just, it shouldn't be a case of, oh, well, are you saying I'm a nonce or something? The reaction should be, fine, I'm not on the list, so you can check it.
Yeah, but you're always going to get the libertarians that are going to be like, no, I don't want you.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what they think or what they want to do.
But then you'd have to make it mandatory.
Chris is saying, yes, there is. It's called Clare's Law.
Clare's Law, yeah.
Thanks so much.
Clare's Law's massively flawed because in order to actually access that, which I found out from being on this Are We Dating the Same Guy group, you have to know their addresses for like the last 5 years or something. Who knows that? Why they've just started dating. I mean, it's massive.
That's what I'm saying.
And what does that cover? Does that cover sexual abuse? Does it cover...
I think it's
more chocolate.
Abuse. But the problem is that we're facing is that, again, like I don't really feel like I can get into all of this, but there's loads of like loopholes and problems, especially in the sense that a lot of these men aren't even charged for it. Like the police won't even charge them or caution them, so there's no record. There's no paper record of them. So say like a horrible incident happens at a house and the girl involved or the woman involved is like, don't want any problems. The police won't log that as him being charged or a record of him being accused of that offence. So like this is the problem that you have, is that these loads of the women that I know that have faced serious sexual violence have been discouraged by the police from going ahead with it.
They don't want to do the paperwork.
No, it's more a case of they know, like, unfortunately, like some of the police involved have been on it, like, but they know how flawed the justice system is. So in a way, it's kind of they're trying to. It's not a case of them necessarily not wanting to do the paperwork, because I had a really abusive neighbour who would threaten to kill me for the best part of a year, and the police would do all the paperwork. They'd fill out all the logs. It went to court. The woman got a £50 fine and got let off after years of me compiling all of the information. The next day, she was back doing the same thing again. So it's a case of...
I'm calling you all names under the sun because she knew she could get away with it.
Like threatening me with a 7-inch kitchen knife. Like
Jesus Christ.
This is what is like living in my town. So she did all of that stuff. She was insane. She went straight back to doing the next thing, because there's no deterrent. And when there's no deterrent and there's no consequences, the police won't people will just continue to do the same behavior. If someone said to like someone that's going to be accused of like sexual harassment, assault, etc., if you get found doing this, you're going to prison for 15 years. No questions. They wouldn't fucking do it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it.
But you saw that with the riots. The riots stopped because of the court cases. They didn't stop because they were, you know, the gangs, the riot gangs weren't smashed by the police. You know, they weren't toppled by Nigel Farage.
Weren't politically persuaded to stop by the witty banter.
No, they were told, if you keep coming to these things, you're going to get 2 years in jail. And they went, shit, I'll lose my house, I'll lose my job, I'll lose my kids.
And if you post shit on the internet about it, encouraging it, you'll also go to jail. Yeah. And that stopped that as well.
And it stopped it. And Tan's right. The same thing should happen for sexual assault. It should be, I'm not going to get away with this. There's no way. Because in this day and age, like, really, it should be a lot easier to actually, you know, prove it because of, you know, advances in DNA and things like that. But also, if we have a system where it's kind of like a little bit weighted towards the victim to listen to them and what they've got to say, and then you've got there's an onus on the man to defend himself and say, no, that's not what happened. Here's some proof it didn't. Because in these cases, the woman has to give all the evidence, all the proof, and the man has to give none. Absolutely none.
She just stole my thunder there.
Doesn't have to prove he didn't do it.
Well, not just that. She has to hand over her fucking phone.
Yes.
For like the best part of a year, so they can look through it almost for evidence against her.
Yeah, exactly. Prove that they're looking for evidence that she's lying, because he is innocent till proven guilty. She is guilty until he's proven guilty.
Fucking insane. Like, it is so grim. And under the last Conservative government, rape was essentially decriminalised because it was so rarely proven.
Yeah.
So what a legacy.
And such a backlog in the courts as well.
Courts which are falling down because they've not been maintained, because they're full of rack and they're literally falling down.
Well, haven't they got these Nightingale courts at the moment to get rid of the backlog that Labour have, you know?
Not really. No, like, I mean, it's no.
They are trying to speed up the process, but I just don't think.
Like
by Nightingale, I mean temporary. They're like temporary courts that are being set up in like sports fucking halls and stuff.
Demandables and things like that.
Then you've got prisons which are destitute and Victorian, and they've got people droning in drugs, and it's out of control. And this is the legacy which everyone tries to pretend like that. Most of the media is like, oh, well, the last 14 years just didn't fucking happen. And it's like, are you insane? Like, the reason that everything is a mess is because of the negligence of the former government. Like, you can't blame someone that's come in 6 months and it's got like bits of fluff to rub together, which is like resembling a budget to fix all of this bullshit.
Exactly.
It's like, it's insane. And the problem is, if we had a kind of free press that wasn't almost entirely right-wing biased, we would have a fair assessment of this going out to the public. But we haven't, and the far right are capitalising on that, and they're capitalising on misfortune that they have caused, like Farage and Brexit, and making us all poorer. So you've got the very people responsible for it all just fucking cashing in on it.
Yeah. These are the joys of fucking capitalism, and I fucking hate it. And I've been watching I've been watching all of the institutions that I've lived with for my entire life, from 1981 to today, looking at like my local hospital having a canteen to having a Costa coffee. Like, what the fuck? Costa Coffee is owned by Coca-Cola, the bastions of truth, justice, and fucking let's make some money. What is that about? How can you have like something like that in a hospital? A Burger King in one instance, a Burger King in a hospital.
That's a bit mental.
Yeah,
it happens all the time. Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
That's when Oxford got one, and it half paid for half of the building. So
yeah.
But that was definitely Tory thinking going on.
The arsehole for having like to pay for parking.
Tan, careful about your phraseology.
What?
Being charged through the arsehole. That's exactly what I have to do every day.
You've got trim balls, man. No.
Yeah, there's benefits. Definitely benefits.
20 years younger.
Mike, between you and Graham, right? I'm sick of hearing about your teenage balls and his fucking journey around the world.
Oh! Suddenly you don't want to talk about my balls. Okay, Wayne. Okay, well, stop ringing me in the middle of the night to discuss them.
Is it time to get out my record collection? I should get the other one framed as well. I can hold both of them because that's more of a collection than just one of them.
You in a different room nowadays, Graham? Because you didn't used to be in like a basement or something?
It was a green screen. It was just a fake green screen.
You always been in this room?
No.
I just had the green screen behind me.
No,
but now I'm in this room.
I know you was in the basement.
I thought you were in a totally different room.
Yeah, I was.
Yes,
I was
it
like
was.
last. It was a couple of years ago. I came up here because it was too cold down there. Because it was. This used to be a pub. This used to be the. Is Wayne talking to us, or is he just? Is he? Does he think he's on mute or something? Are you okay? Are you right, Wayne? Are you right? Anyway, so this used to be like the village shop. This used to be the pub. And so downstairs is absolutely freaking freezing. Because it's where they used to keep the beer and the butter and the cheese and the milk and stuff in the 1890s when it was built. So yeah, I just used to freeze to death in winter. So I came up here.
I know how you feel, Graham.
Yeah.
Mike, is everything behind you a green screen? Are those books real?
The books are. I'm annoyed that Graham hasn't noticed that I've got 48 copies of his book on a shelf behind me.
You haven't.
On a green screen.
What are you talking about?
On a green screen, he's phasing.
What are you talking about? You've got there's thruff on the shelf behind.
Let it roll.
The book's real. Was that all fake?
Yeah, these books are real. Yeah.
Oh.
Pick one up. Pick one up at the reel. Go on. Pick up the one with Lord Kitchener on the front. What book is that? Is that Monty Python or something?
That's the story of propaganda in 50 images.
Oh wow!
Is the brick wall real?
Brick wall's real, but this is a green screen.
Oh, cool!
So yeah, I'll probably not be able to hang that back up again now.
Yeah, no. Oh my god!
That's kind of cool. The illusion.
Yeah, Tan, you've now just destroyed the illusion on my wall. No, the brick wall's real.
I love your CUNT from the Trump and his friends there.
Yeah, you'll be surprised to know that this isn't a green screen.
No, that's
real.
No, so what happened, Tan, is I went away, and when I went away, I changed the room around because I used to have the table with the wall behind me, and it meant the desk was like in the middle of the room pretty much. It's only a small room, and so when I went away, I put it in the corner, and when I got back, Kat's like, "Can you not move the table to the middle of the room again?" And I'm like, "Okay," so that's why I don't have the green screen anymore. I could set it up behind me. I mean,
nice burn. It's nice colours.
I don't know. I'm trying to bring this back to life. Needs a bit of water, actually. Do you think I should give it a bit of port?
My background is naturally blurred. I mean,
yeah, Zoom does that anyway, doesn't it?
That's my little record player in the corner, and that's my bookshelf. It's not even got my good books on it. It's just got most of my arty books on it. But I've got my little ode to what's it called? Royal Tenenbaums. I've got Richie and Margot Tenenbaum.
I've got a bookcase there that's I think it's got about 40 copies of Lonely Planet on it.
Well, that's a surprise. You saw that coming.
Yeah, it's quite fun. So I was thinking like putting a little thing behind me with the books because it will look quite cool. It's nice to have books behind you, isn't it? It makes you look learned.
I like it. Yeah, I'm actually in the process of actually sorting out my studio room upstairs, where I'm actually going to start doing some streaming.
Yes.
Out my background.
Yes.
And
have you got a producer?
Maybe. There's this ginger slag that's interested.
A ginger slag was that? I know.
Be careful. He's not from Liverpool or somewhere, is he?
Because is he slightly sort of got a sunroof open on the top of his head?
Yeah. Did you get? If you got one of those, I got that email. All right, mate. I'm from Liverpool. I could be your producer. Send me 50 quid.
That's monk, mate. That's Mank.
That was a monk accent.
Don't say that to a Scouser.
It was.
Don't say that to a Scouser.
Stick to the cartoons, mate.
I agree. It was certainly northern. Yes,
Run away. Give me all you got.
It sounded like when Fred and Perry tried to do
Hello there, Mrs. Potter.
I really fancy your mum. I think I want to shag it.
Pauline Quirk.
All right, there, Peru.
Note to self: don't try regional accents ever again on this podcast.
No, I mean, total different.
Especially when there's a Scouser in the.
In answer to your question, yeah, I mean, but I've been trying to think of the background about trying to make it look kind of palatable because my friend gifted me a daybed, like an IKEA daybed, and it's taking up loads of the fucking room. And it's either get rid of the daybed or fit everything or make my background less. Because, you know, you've seen it when it's bare. I think you have, Graham. I think I did a swear jar with you, and the background just looked like a kind of hostage situation. It's like I'm in a completely empty room.
That's how it looked if I didn't have a green screen when I had the wall behind me. So I like this. It's got a bit of depth, and I've got like a badger sitting on the seat.
It's nice and green. You know, it looks kind of like homey.
Yeah, I like that setting. It looks right. It almost looks like you could have created it as a still image for the background.
It's a nice burn you've got going on there.
I've got this really nice picture of the world. It's like a painting of the world. See that up there? It's like a world map, but it's all.
Speaking of the world, how are you getting on with your Lego world?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'm very glad you asked because
actually.
I've been so the first episode we made this bit at the bottom. Second episode we made the holder, the globe holder, and then third episode we made. Oh Christ, I'm dismantling it here. We made the equator around here.
Oh my God.
And then the fourth episode, we did the bit in the middle. Set the journey.
Has it got an internal structure as well? Is that?
Yeah. And then the latest episode we did this quarter of this hemisphere. And there's all the countries on there. There's a little thing that says Africa on there. There's a little thing that says Europe there. And it says Indian Ocean. And as I'm putting these dots on here, I'm like, oh, this is Sulawesi. Oh, this is Borneo. Oh, this is Java. And I'm being a big
I just happen to have visited all of these countries.
Yes, I have. And there's a little Lego me on the top of there. If you see that little Lego me.
Tan, my backdrop is real. This is my real sparrow skin sofa.
Sparrow skin.
Sparrow.
How many sparrows? How many sparrows do you have to skin to make that?
I don't know.
Sometimes I feed the sparrows too. Gives me an enormous sense of well-being.
Then I'm happy for the
rest of the day.
Yes.
So many people.
I told you a story before. I had to get this from Kerry's parents. I didn't want it because I knew I'd be sleeping on it. It's leather. No one wants to sleep on a leather sofa. So I've got all of the throws, all of the blankets for when I'm sleeping on it. It's just horrible. It's cold. It's sticky.
Like God,
your skin just sticks to it, and then when you peel your skin off, it's like peeling ham slices away from me, or your ball bag when it's against your leg on a sunny day, and you have to sort of peel it.
Scene from Saw. You know when that scene from Saw is super glued that person's back to the chair.
Yeah,
and they've got to get out of the car before the saw gets them, and it's like they're ripping their back skin off.
I can't remember that actually, but yeah.
I think it
sounds painful.
Oh, Tan, that reminds me. I went to see the new Robert Eggers film last week. You know, Nosferatu.
Oh, my goth friend, my witch goth friend, is well into that shit. I've heard about it.
What did you think? The trailers looked good.
I thought it was probably one of the best adaptations of Dracula I've ever seen. However, I knew exactly what was going to happen because it was an adaptation of Dracula, and I've literally seen that same story 179 times before.
Was it an adaptation of the book, or was it an adaptation of the 20s film?
Both. Right, okay. A bit of both.
Did the ship go down after hitting the iceberg?
No. Because I had a vampire on board. And
we know you've only read one book, but it's not all about the Titanic.
Yeah, sorry. I've read the Brewery Dictionary of Phrase and Fable. Yeah, so carry on.
But yeah, no, I mean the visuals in it are just amazing. It's very good. It's very good. But I'll tell you this: I didn't go with Catherine, so I went to a showing that wasn't subtitled, and I found it really hard to follow the dialogue. And since then, I was reading an article about people with ADHD. You know, because I'm so used to having subtitles on everything now. When it's not there, I find it really difficult to.
I have subtitles
what people
on all
are
the
saying
time.
on films.
I do.
Yeah.
I have one. I've been rewatching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I'm so sorry.
It's a very good series.
I don't have any kind of like real interest in it, but I've heard it's great, like the story and all of that. But Mrs. Maisel is like, I don't know if are you familiar? Have you seen Mrs. Maisel, Graham?
Yeah.
Mike can tell me about it.
It's an incredible story of like a Jewish housewife who suddenly, like after her husband walks out on her, who is trying to kind of follow a comedy career in the 50s, she just walks into this kind of like New York village like comedy club,
open mic type thing,
unleashes hell, right, and becomes an overnight legend. And she discovers she's got amazing ability to talk and to hold an audience, and it follows her.
What's this film called?
It's a series on Prime, which is called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's fucking, and it is so, isn't it like so sharply written?
It's incredibly well written. Yeah,
and I've been watching that recently, and I've realised now for all programs that I have the subtitles on because it helps me to follow and keep the attention if you look away for a moment.
That's exactly what it is.
It does help because you get so distracted by stuff. But if you've got the kind of words there, it keeps you focused on the scene. I don't know if anyone else has that.
No, well, the way I discovered it was during
apparently.
Yeah, during COVID, I watched a lot of Scandi dramas, you know, the cop stuff on BBC4. So you have the subtitles on anyway. It was perfect. But you have to have the subtitles on all the way through. And I realized that I just sat there glued to the set reading the telly all the time. And then I just put the subtitles on for everything since then.
It's kind of like it's giving you a distraction, but it's helping you to absorb it. It's so weird. I think this is probably why my doctor described me as textbook when it comes to ADHD, because you've got like something that should be distracting you, but it's keeping you focused on the
hyper focus bit.
Yeah,
it's the bit that everybody gets wrong about ADHD because they see the distraction bit and they just think you're running around going, "Oh, look, shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny."
No,
thing.
it's just that
but the reality is you can actually hyper focus on something completely.
Yeah, and for me, politics has been probably the biggest hyper focus I've ever had in my life.
Get away, Tan. We haven't noticed that publicly.
Kept that one quiet.
It's like that thing in what's it called? Clockwork Orange, where his eyes are just like,
more. I need more of this.
I watched. Did I watched Clockwork Orange for the first time in years the other week?
It's so good.
It's a fucked up film.
Every single scene in it, you can't look away. I felt like Alex, like this. I mean, it's just mesmerizing. It's really, like, it was weird because I haven't watched it for about 20 years and I still knew every fucking word from it. It's so and it's so like it's so, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's a very strange film. It's like Black Mirror, you know, through the looking glass kind of thing. It's the world as we know it, but not quite as we know it.
It takes an odd turn, and you don't expect it to go where it goes.
It's all an odd turn.
You know, I'll commit some ultra violence, and then all of a sudden they get found out, and they get turned into these like drones, effectively.
It's hyper futuristic, but yet at the same time like massively retro. It's so fucking weird because like the way that they talk is almost like, you know, old English, and yet these scenes,
but with a bit of Cockney in it.
Yeah, and it's also like a
60s
interpretation of the future.
Yeah.
So it's like Kubrick wasn't that far off, really. Like, it's because everything he really tapped into the postmodern idea of recycling. So in a way, like, he was so ahead of his time in the
Tan, can I just quickly circle back to something that you was just saying about the subtitles? Because I used to come home from work when the girls were there, and my eldest would be watching something on TV or on YouTube, and she'd always have the subtitles on. I'm like, why? It's in English. I'm like, why are you at subtitles on, darling? And she's like, oh, because I like having the subtitles on. I'm like, well, you're watching the show. Like, why are you, like, if it was dubbed or it was in another language, I don't understand it. So I used to turn off. Like, what is it? I'll pick up my iPad, bloody subtitles on, turn them off. And from what you're saying, it makes sense because she's definitely got the look at me gene, and I would quite imagine she's on the spectrum because of how she acts. She's very extrovert and very sort of like doesn't mind being the center of attention. I don't know where she gets that from. Probably her mother.
No, neither do I.
No idea. There's no clues out there.
No. Exactly.
Yeah, if she wants the subtitles on, great. I think that all films should have subtitles at the cinema. That should be the way. So we're not driving to Kat's not having to leave work early to drive all the way to Newcastle for the one screening of this movie in the Northeast, which turned out to be shite.
Yeah.
But
but what I'm saying is like I've been watching a lot of Thai and I think it's Malaysian sort of like horror, sort of Black Mirror kind of films on Netflix. There's a couple of shows, one's Daydreams and Nightmares, and it's all American dubbed. And I can get on with it because I'm not looking at their mouths. I'm listening to the story and like
I can't deal with dubbed. I cannot deal with dubbed anything.
No,
it makes me feel nauseous.
Yeah.
My dad was born in 1957 and he grew up in the 70s watching the old kung fu films. So I was subjected to dubbed films from a very early age.
Yeah, Bruce Lee. Yeah, Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan.
When I was a kid, half of the TV programs we watched were dubbed because there was the European Film Foundation that paid for all these TV shows that the BBC put out. So there were all these black and white so old, but the black and white TV kids shows that were Austrian and all dubbed with the same actors and actresses playing the characters.
My auntie and uncle in Denmark always used to complain about my auntie and uncle in Denmark always used to complain about the fact that a lot of their movies got shown on TV had been dubbed into German and then they had Danish subtitles.
Right.
And they both speak fluent English. I mean, my auntie Christine's a Scouser. So
it's always the bit when you travel abroad and you think, I'll watch that film because even if it's it's going to be the English plus the Spanish subtitles or something like that. But no, they dubbed them, and then they put the Spanish subtitles on with the dubbing, and you go, I can't watch any of this. There's no way to watch any of this program.
I feel it robs the actor of the voice. If we're going to see film as an art form, it is just it's making a piece of art shit.
And this is a thing that I think is might be a good thing about AI, that they are starting to use AI for the dubbing now. So they take the actor's voice and they actually get that actor speaking the foreign language.
But does it sync with their lips?
There is also a thing in like Italy does a lot of dubbing and Spain does a lot of dubbing. And the actors that play the main characters in really popular TV shows and films are as famous. The voice actor.
If I ever made it as a director, that would be my one rule, that none of my films could be dubbed under pain of death.
No, but you're getting a lot of actors now that as they're getting older, up in age. I think that James L. Jones did it, signed away their
voice.
Their
voice. Going to be used for future Star Wars episodes, isn't it? For Darth Vader's voice. But
I think that a lot of people know that.
Asked a question in the chat. Would you advise me to read Clockwork Orange first or watch the movie? That's a really interesting question. I saw the movie first and then I read the book. Tan, have you read the book? Anthony Burgess? So the book's got an extra chapter. You know where the film ends? The book's got an extra chapter after that. I would recommend that you watch the film first and then read the book for a bit more context. And the book also has a glossary of NADSpeak or whatever it's called.
I would always advise people look first because then they get to see their vision of the story in their brain before.
But I think that is the problem when we always think that the book is better than the film, because the book is our own imagination, and then it's someone else's imagination of the same book, and it's never quite the same.
I would say the opposite to Lord of the Rings, because I never watched.
No way I'm fucking reading that shit or watching it. So no.
But what I'm saying is, because I hate overhyped things. Like when Lord of the Rings came out, everyone was like, "Oh, fucking, it's just bollocks, it's bollocks." When Arctic Monkeys came out, "Oh yeah, they're the bollocks, they're the bollocks." I was like, what was the other one? Breaking Bad. "Oh, it's a bollocks, it's bollocks." I avoid everything that's overhyped. I avoid it like the plague, and then I'll get into it in my own time. I don't want to be one of these hype train twats.
Fucking hell, Wayne, that's you showing the man. Then I didn't like that thing when it was popular. I like it now that it's less popular.
I'm the same though. I will on principle avoid. But no, the only reason I said that, Graham, is because I think that they're only going to see the literary work through Kubrick's vision.
The eyes of the director.
Through Kubrick's vision, yeah. Whereas that's like the thing that Killing Eve was based on was Code. I think it was called Code Name Villanelle. It was a kind of novella, and the problem with the ending of Killing Eve, spoiler alert, is that it was kind of it played into the whole kill the gays thing, which is a big thing with a lot of queer people have that problem with how like the gay person always has to die, whereas that's not really how the book worked. That's not the ending of the book. And so I think it's always good to see the literary work as a separate piece from the
years ago, we did some work at a company I was working for with the RNIB college up in Worcester, trying to make stuff for educational stuff for kids that was based on entertainment content. And we spent 2 days up there with these kids researching this project. And the thing that really fascinated me was they play computer games, audio only computer games, and they use the same engine as a game for a games engine because you can hear echoes. So one thing they did, which just blew my mind, they put a mask on me, put headphones on, and then said, "Where are you?" And then you just stand there listening to this space around you, and these kids could describe everything in the space, and I'm stumbling around like an idiot. And then they go, "Is there a passageway on your left or your right?" And you can hear the echoes bouncing around these walls. So you can go, "I think it's on my right." And they go, "Yeah, it is." But the other thing that they told me was that when they play a game, an audio game, they get to imagine the characters and the world completely their own way. So the game, although the narrative always works the same way, the characters, the setting and everything else are all in their own minds, and it's all their imagination. And it struck me as that crossover between the book and the film. Whereas you say when you watch a film, you're watching somebody's interpretation of the book.
I get that with. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I listen to a lot of because where I don't sleep very well, I listen to a lot of like creepypasta, like YouTube videos and that, YouTube audiobooks. And they're like little sort of miniature horror stories, like people getting locked up in like a quickie mart of a night, and there's like people that turn up of an evening and they're banging on the doors, and you're visualizing that in your head. So I get that kind of thing, but at the same time, when it comes to someone's cinematography, I can appreciate someone's vision of a film.
But then in that case, that's what you're judging, the director and the director of photography.
One person's, isn't it? Whereas like the beauty of books is that you get to generate this world in your brain. It's like being a kid again.
Yeah.
And you get that,
especially when you're in and out of sleep. When you're in and out of sleep, it proper fucks you up.
Yeah, that's a recipe for like crazy lucid dreams. But
crazy dreams.
But generally speaking, like with an audio play, I'm a big fan of an audio play. Like, I know, call me an old lady, but I love like
you're an old lady
or an audio play. I heard like one of the first ones I ever heard was thanks to Jarvis Cocker, who played J.G. Ballard's "We're Having a Wonderful Time" on his Sunday service years ago. And I was like, fuck, I love an audio play. Like, these are amazing.
Radio. I was brought up on Radio 4. The plays on there every day were amazing.
I mean,
they're absolutely fantastic.
Too. The comedy, some of the comedy shows. There was one amazing one where they had a guy playing this like really badly out of tune tin whistle. It's one of the funniest things that I've ever heard in my life. And so you get to kind of fill in the gaps yourself with your imagination. Whereas, yeah, like if you're going to purely just see one person's like stage adaptation of something, you're seeing the vision of it. And Kubrick,
which is not a negative. It's another form of art that you're looking at, though, isn't it? It's not the.
Kubrick, it definitely.
I think I sometimes struggle with when I'm reading a book, like certain things don't really work for me when I'm reading it just because of the way my imagination works. And with the case of Clockwork Orange, and also with the case of Heart of Darkness that I read after watching Apocalypse Now, which is an adaptation set in the Vietnam War, but the original set in in Congo during the Belgium tyranny there. And it filled in the gaps, like it made it so I could take in parts of what I'd seen in the film, but obviously it's embellished. In the book, you learn more about the character's inner monologue. It just made it a bit easier. And the one that really sticks out for me was when I was a kid, I was hugely into Tolkien. I read all, as many of the books as I could. But there was a book called The Silmarillion, which is like reading the fucking Bible. It was just like, and then this happened, and then this happened. And this happened. It's every chapter is a different story, set in a different age.
I've not read it. It's disjointed, isn't it?
Yeah. Because it was just his notes. It was just his notes that he wrote down. And so each chapter is like it's a short story in its own right, and they can be hundreds of years apart, and they use all these different character names, and it's just there's no way of putting it all together. You look at family trees and maps all the fucking time. But after watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Peter Jackson's trilogy, I could actually unlock that book and read it for the first time in my life and understand it and get it.
No,
and
I think that's
where the
true.
movies helped me understand the book better. And I think the same's true with Clockwork Orange. I think I would have found the book, had I not known anything about it, just trying to read the book by Anthony Burgess just straight up, I would have gone, what the fuck is this? I wouldn't have understood it at all.
With you
but
on that.
the film allowed me to understand it. And the other film I think of, and it's a Stanley Kubrick film again, is 2001, A Clockwork Orange. That's a Carter song. 2001, A Space Odyssey.
The book for 2001 was originally just a short story anyway. Yes. It wasn't
Sentinel. It was called The Sentinel, Mike. Do we win the film quiz?
You do.
Thank you.
I'm never gonna compete against you in a film quiz, Greg.
I would love to have a day of watching the Peter Jackson director's cuts, the first trilogy of Lord of the Rings, just to have a day of just watching them back to back, because for me,
in London, quite often they do that.
Way of doing it.
Over at the Barbican, the cinema at the Barbican, they show them all for a whole day.
Really?
It's like 14 hours or something. You sit there watching.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'd love that. I'd fucking love that.
My stepdaughters watched all 3 movies in 3 separate sessions, but the extended version. So it must have been like, what, 3.5 hours or something a piece?
Yeah, 3.5 hours a piece.
Imogen was she was about 5.
I think Return of the King is 4 hours.
And we talk about kids not having any attention span. She sat there for like 3.5 hours watching Lord of the Rings.
The only thing that I would say is an exception to what I've just established as not even a rule, because I'm terrible at reading. When I was a kid, I used to devour books like Rate and Knots, but nowadays I don't have the attention span for it. But the only exception
you need to get a better source of fibre.
What's that?
You need to get a better source of fibre.
Probably
devour books.
Yes.
I see.
Come on.
That I would make today. Any adaptation of a fucking Stephen King book, because he's a terrible writer. So, like The Shining, for example, I wouldn't advise anyone to sit through Stephen King rambling on terribly, talking bullshit. I would advise them to watch The Shining.
The Shawshank Redemption film is better than the short story. The Green Mile's better.
Stephen King is really good at premise, starts, middle, and then fucks up the ending.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to finish books. He doesn't know how to finish a story.
A terrible.
Yeah, totally agree.
But also, like, can I just advise anyone who hasn't read the book It? Do not read the book It. Watch the films. That's fine. Watch the TV film with Tim Curry, and then watch the new one with Stellan Skarsgård's kid.
Don't read any Stephen King.
Don't read the book, because
don't read the Langoliers. don't read Christine. Fucking hell.
And now, welcome to the Politics Social Don't Read Book Club.
Yes.
Here's a list of things not to read.
Books don't read. No, I don't know about the rest of them. I mean, I'm sure Misery. That's probably a good book. It's a very good film.
Writer, man. He's actually like he's one of the most uninspiring writers that I've ever had the misfortune. I had like an advanced reading age when I was about 7. I was reading like young adult and beyond books. I could read like full sentences before I was 4. Like I could read really early.
I can't even read now when I'm 45.
Well, I can't now because of my attention span. But when I was a kid, I would devour books, and I picked up a Stephen King book, I think when I was about 11.
Oh God, it wasn't
and
it,
was
it?
Just like, this is shit, just got rid of it. And I was just so unimpressed with his, like, I could have been like,
Carrie was a Stephen King, wasn't it?
A child critic. But
there must be something in his books that helps filmmakers make films. I've not read his books.
Because there were great. There's a lot of great premises in there. There's interesting characters who are always writers. And Power to the People saying Stand By Me is my favourite film, but the short story it's based on, The Body, is Pooh.
That's interesting. But it's interesting that so many have been turned into or adapted for TV or film.
Like he has the great bones of a story.
Yes.
But he's terrible at bringing that story to life. It's so
he can't execute. He can't execute.
It's like one of my favorite facts is that the fact that Dickens published his books episodically. Each chapter was published, and then 3 weeks later he'd publish the next chapter, and you'd go in and you'd subscribe to go and get them from the printers.
Yeah.
And he was paid by the word as well, which is why his books are so verbose.
Very good.
But it's why they're brilliant for telly, because they're episodic, but they're not great as films because they're episodic. They don't have 3 acts.
Dickens would post. He would post. Sorry, Ted. He would post a few pages in a shop window, and get you interested as like a sort of like synopsis. And
it was a crowdfunding model. You'd go in and subscribe to the book, and when they got enough subscribers, the publisher would commit it to print. Basically,
I mean, he's one of the few people that have grabbed. Always his writing always grabbed me. Like Down and Out in Paris, London, like 1984. I think I was 84 in within 48 hours. I consumed that book.
The whole book, Today I was going to do a podcast. I do this podcast called Mike Reads. It used to be called Mike Reads Wikipedia. Now it's Mike Reads something. But I wanted to do. It's quite highbrow, Wayne. It's.
I think I just had copies of your book behind you, Mike. It's
copies of your book.
It's copies of my book.
Copies of your book.
Yeah. Hold up, Mike. You saying I'm not fucking eyebrow?
Anyway, I was going to do this podcast today, and because I'd done a cartoon about oligarchs, and I thought what I want to do is go and do a podcast about the book within a book in 1984, which is the practices and principles of oligarchical collectivism. And then I realized that I really can't say the word oligarchical every time I read it on the screen. I can't say it, so I can't do this podcast at the moment unless I can change that word, which would then make it pointless.
Why can't you say?
Do you know
I don't know, because I just said it fine, didn't I? But it's when it's on the teleprompter reading it.
I had that problem when I was doing the audio book of my book. There were some words that I just couldn't say for some reason.
Even though you'd written them.
Even though I'd written them. And what I could do, which is brilliant, is I could actually change the word in the book, and then all future copies of the book had that amendment that was put in
readable
just because I couldn't read the fucking word out loud. I was like, oh, fuck that, I'll change it for something else. Or it might have been like an expression. It might have been like a series of words that all began with an F or B or something.
One thing that I think people don't realise with Orwell when it comes to the phrase newspeak, people don't realise that newspeak is an actual thing. So when the youth of today come up with certain slang words, like the older generation, you can't say that. What does that mean? It is actual newspeak.
And it's not only that. You could say that it's emoji language.
Exactly. Yeah.
The losing of words.
Yeah, and it's reversal of meaning.
And you adding 3 words together to make a word rather than have a separate words for everything.
Well, I mean, one of the most modern iterations of that is when someone says, "Oh, that's sick."
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you was to say that in the 1960s, they'd be like, "Oh, someone's been sick."
I still think that, Wayne. I actually hate that expression because I just think of vomit. I really don't like it. Like, it's just they say it all the time. All the American surfers in Bonkers del Toro, everything was sick. That was so sick. And you'd be sick after drinking too much, and they'll go, that's sick, man. And you'd be like, it was just, I never
That's a sick amount of sick. You're just sick.
Typical Gen Xer. Sorry, I'm a millennial.
But it is interesting, isn't it? You say something shit, and then that's bad. You say it the shit, and that's good.
Or shit up.
Yeah. Has anyone noticed Mikey's just gone? Like, he's just gone and left his camera on.
He's been cancelled.
I guarantee he's been indoctrinated into a FEMA camp.
He's now a part of a cult, unfortunately.
The thing is, if I boot him, it kind of like stops him from ever coming back on.
To be fair, like
don't do that. Leave him floating.
I'm surprised you're going this long. I'm knackered.
I know, I'm knackered. I'm going to wrap up now.
Yeah.
I just looked at the time and went, fuck me. It's 30.
I'm committed to the project, but this is the latest I've stayed up for 4 weeks.
Well, shout out to Wayne for not demonetizing this chat. Well done.
Well done, sir.
Thank you, Wayne.
Well, can I say before I go?
No, don't say the C word. Don't say the C word. Jesus, every time.
I certainly won't do. I just want to show something because
don't show us your willy. I don't know. You're going to get us demonetized, Darren. How many times?
Certainly won't do. It's even better than my willy.
Oh my God.
No, it's something my wife got me. She got me this.
Oh, that's very
lovely.
cute.
Is that a record?
No. It's just a little thing so I can stick it on my wall.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Lovely. I wish I had a wife.
Because it's because like when it came to Christmas Eve, my daughter was saying, "I'm so looking forward to seeing you open my present I've got for you," and I'm sat there thinking, well, what could it be? And she's there getting excited, and it were a big jumper with a picture of that on the front. And do you know what? It's all I made me thinking. Somebody who's I've never achieved much in my life, but when I see my kids and my wife, what you've built on your channel. We're proud of that.
Oh,
that's lovely.
Nice. That's lovely.
We're proud of you too, you know?
Yeah. Don't say you haven't achieved much, you dick.
I never have done. I worked for council for 30 years.
Darren, don't be a bloody loser. You've achieved loads, mate.
You have achieved something.
Right, well, listen, we should really wrap it up there because it is late. And Svax watching in Ukraine, it's 3 a.m. over there. So it's almost 3 a.m. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the memberships. Thanks to everyone here. Mikey as well, even though he's not here, but also Mike and Wayne and Tansky and Darren Daily Blase. Please follow everyone on their respective channels and what they do. Mike does Trumpton cartoons, so if you go onto Blue Sky, just Google Trumpton and you will search for Trumpton, and also on Facebook as well. Are you on any other channels? Do you still bother posting on Twitter, or have you given up on that one?
I've gone back to Twitter for reasons.
Is that just like off Musk? Good.
It's bad.
Wayne and Mikey are on the bin.
Just Musk cartoons now.
Podcast. Wayne still hasn't done my bloody cartoon for my cover.
It's all right,
You're
mate.
breaking up. You're breaking up.
He's only getting treated for cancer, mate. I'm sure he's got loads of time to spend making a cartoon of you. Where's your fucking cartoon?
He's got it for major politicians.
I'll cancel all the appointments next week, Wayne.
Yeah, so we can stay at home and
get
draw
the
a
radiotherapy
of you.
I'll come up with my 1,000-watt microwave, stick it on your ass, and push fucking send.
That's going to cook his arse, you idiot. Why would you do that?
That is entirely what the treatment is, to be honest with you.
There you go.
Do that to Rupert Murdoch, Wayne.
Yes, do it to Rupert Murdoch. Don't do it to Mike. We like Mike. You want him to stick around. Anyway, look. Thanks to everyone.
Nicest, Graham. Sorry, that's the nicest thing anyone's said. We like Mike. Don't microwave his arse.
Yes.
Thank
But
you.
his balls, like, make them look youthful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rejuvenate them by all means.
That is like some kind of like badly translated East European blessing, isn't it? May your balls stay forever youthful.
20 years younger.
Yes.
Glistening radioactive balls.
So on that blessing, again, thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back in the morning at 9:30 because we're gonna build some more Lego globe. Yay! So come join me for that. Jesus. This is what I'm reduced to now. making Lego on Late Night Show. So anyway, thank you to all the members of this channel. Thanks to all our patrons. Thanks to all the super chats and all that jazz. Give us a like on the way out. And until next time, me and the gang will say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Everyone wave. Yay! Except for Mikey, because he's not here.
Bye, Mikey.